everybody, and there's a lot of excitement in Delaware Valley because it's draft day. That's right. The Eagles picking 32nd. Will they stay there and grab a player? Will they try to move up to get a player they really like, or will they try to move back and get a couple more draft picks? It is an unknown at this point. But Bill Colarulo will have his draft analysis coming up because we have a hotter story going on right now. Your Fighting Phils got swept by the New York Mets. And ladies and gentlemen, the numbers were not good. The big hitters in the lineup went 5 for 46 in this series for a 109 batting average. And we can go over it inning by inning if you desire on all the opportunities that they squandered in this game. And they had a guy thrown out at the plate. They took a lead going into extra innings, and they couldn't hold it. Jordan Romano, I know people are going to rip him today, but I got to be honest with you. And he threw a couple good pitches that they put in play. So I don't know if I'm going to blast him today or look at this Phillies team overall and admit that there's just something missing. And I thought there was coming into the season. I thought it'd be kind of a step back year. I used the word stale for the Phillies. I think that certainly applies now. Now, the brass doesn't seem to be that worried about it. Rob Thompson had some things to say yesterday, which is, they normally say things that aren't dire when the fans look at it and go, this is dire. Fans right now think it's dire. And fans right now have kind of admitted that the Mets are a better team. They got a hungrier look to them. When you win games the way the Mets do, when you persevere, you keep coming at you, you're going to win games. You're a better team. You got a hunger to you. The Phillies don't seem to have that hunger. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, whether they shake this up, whether they make a trade, whether they move some guys, whether the starting pitching staff can carry them through some of these bad spots. But right now, it's not looking good. And if you want to pretend that it's early like the John Crux of the world, I think you're misguided. I think you got to look at this team right now as having the same woes that beset them in the past where hitting just does not come through. And they can't win games by out-hitting people, even though their pitching is pretty good. Bill Colarulo is with us. Ray Dunn is with us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Ray. Yeah, this Phillies team, it's frustrating to me and very alarming. And I don't want to hear that it's just April anymore because I went back and I looked at, you remember when the Phillies swept the Dodgers? July 11th of 2024. We were feeling an all-time high last year on that Phillies team. They swept the Dodgers in July. They improved their record to 61-32. Since that day, this is a 47-47 baseball team. And I'm starting to worry that you're not watching a team underperform. You're just watching a mediocre baseball team. You have a 94-game sample size now. This is a 500 baseball team. And if you throw in what they did in the NLDS, it's even worse than that. And I look at this lineup, and so far this season, yeah, they're in the top 10 in batting average. They're in the top 5 in on-base percentage, but they are 21st in slugging percentage. The way this lineup is built, you can't be in the bottom of the major leagues in slug. And then you look at the pitching staff, they're 21st in ERA. So when we factor all that in, 47-47 since July 11th last year, 21st in slug, 21st in ERA, I'm starting to worry that we're just watching a mediocre team, Mike, and this is who they are.
I would put them a tad above mediocre. I don't think they're mediocre. I think they're a good team. A tad above mediocre means they're maybe in peril of not getting into playoffs, considering what the National League West is doing. But I agree with you on what you can't pretend that things aren't wrong and that it's early and it's this and it's that. They have pretty much carved out a profile of them melting down offensively. And they're kind of doing the same thing right now. And I want to go over inning by inning, but I first want to hear for the manager, because the manager is starting to tick me off a little bit. And maybe this plays right into your evaluation of Rob Thompson, where he doesn't tell the truth and he wants to pretend that things are all right for the benefit of not getting his players down. And sometimes you got to tell the truth and say, we're not performing to the expectations that these guys have for themselves and that I have for them. So let's give Rob Thompson, who talked about runners in scoring position, which the Phillies have failed certainly in this series, it was just totally eye-popping how they failed runners in scoring position. Here's Rob Thompson talking about that.
Yeah, it's just it's the randomness of the game. It really is. I mean, we're not going to tell guys to start swinging uphill.
Right.
Yeah, it's you hit a ball hard, you hit a ball hard. It's like I was talking about prior to the game. The runners in scoring position number, it's skewed at some point because you take the inning where we got a runner at second base. Wilson hits a bullet to the third baseman. Right. That's all he can do. Trey comes up later, he hits a bullet to the shortstop. That's all he can do. And so you're 0 for 2 in that situation. Well, I mean, they hit the ball hard. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, yeah, it's one thing hitting the ball hard. It's another thing hitting the ball on the ground to somebody. Maybe those hard hit balls get a little lift on it and they go over that guy's head into the left field. So, yeah, randomness, yeah, I guess. If you want to say it's hitting the ball hard, a one hopper at third base and one hopper at the shortstop is executing, then all right, that's that your interpretation of it? Fine. Runners in scoring position struggles with randomness of baseball. The Mets didn't seem to have a problem with that. So the randomness was on the other side, or was it the clutch gene that they had more than the Phillies? Let's look at the second inning, excuse me. Bases loaded, 1 out. Now, good teams score. Good teams score in that situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. You got a plan in your head on what you have to do. And what you have to do, more than anything else, is get a run home. No matter how you do it, you got to put the ball in play somewhere to get a run home. You got to hit a fly ball to get a run home. That should be a plan in your head. That is part of a plan with runners in scoring position. Well, what happens? Rojas hits a short fly out, which puts now the onus on the next guy who grounds out and they get out of the inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. They don't score there, Bill. We want to go to the 4th inning. Rojas hits an RBI single. Turner has an RBI single. There's still 2 on with your best hitter at the plate. Harper grounds out. Runners in scoring position. Plan in your head. You want to move on to the 8th inning? 2 on. Kepler single. Castellanos thrown out at the plate. All right. It was a big hit, and it was a better throw by Sosa out there. But then we go to the 10th inning. Castellanos singles with the infield in after Harper steals third. A key moment. Harper made a great play there. Steals third. The Mets infield's in. That helps Castellanos get that single for a 3-2 lead. But then JT walks and Bohm singles. Bases loaded, 1 out. What do we get? The same situation as the 2nd inning. Stott, short fly out. No run scores. Kepler fly out for the 3rd out. Those kind of things are runners in scoring position. Plan in your head. Bases loaded. You should score.
Yeah, and you're right. I'm looking at the final numbers from the game. They're 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position, which at first blush, that's not too bad. But they didn't add on in these moments that you're talking about. That you got to take advantage when you have your opportunities. And there's no excuse when there's a guy on third with 1 out. You got to drive the ball to the outfield to get that run home. I agree with you.
There's one priority for Bryson Stott in that situation. There's one priority for Rojas in that situation. Get a pitch that you can do something with that will get you a run. That's it. That's the only plan that should be in your head. And you don't need a hitting coach to tell you that. You should be schooled enough to know that.
I agree with you. It's been a frustrating season to watch so far. And I get nervous, though, because I don't know how this improves. Like, I kept looking at this lineup and saying, there's no way that they're not going to go on a stretch run. And I still think that they'll win some games against the mediocre teams or the bad teams because there's a lot of them in Major League Baseball. You saw them beat up on the Rockies. You saw them beat up on the Marlins, even though it should have been worse. But against these better teams, I'm just not seeing that this team's going to be able to beat them.
All right, we'll talk about it. We'll focus on the draft today. We're going to have our own little draft here amongst us. But we're also going to analyze what the Eagles may do tonight and what players they could be targeting. And frankly, what's going to happen generally in this draft tonight. That's the exciting part. As an Eagle fan, I don't know if it's that exciting. But we'll talk about it. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Look forward to your calls and your texts. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Now.
Mike Missanelli show. I saw something in that game yesterday I never thought I would see. A late challenge flag. Are you kidding me? Well, that play was a bang play. You need to look at the replay before you challenge that. You need to waste the 15 seconds allotment that they're going to give you to challenge it. Are you kidding? It's the lead run. If you lose the challenge, you lose the challenge. That's a bang play. You can't let it expire. Now, had they challenged it, obviously he was out at the plate. I get it. But how do you lose the challenge by being tardy for the challenge, Bill?
Sleepy Rob, man. That was inexcusable. You're right. He was out anyway. But I don't understand how the manager who's staring at the play doesn't get it in within 15 seconds. It's not like it even has to be instantaneous. 15 seconds is a long time.
Well, listen, in that situation, it's got to be instantaneous. Like, why would you hold back the what are you afraid of? You're going to lose your challenge? I mean, that's such an important play. It's worth losing the challenge. You can't exhaust the time limit. Because they've got all these guys looking at the replay. You could look at that replay 3 different times and not come up with a conclusion. So you got to right away throw caution to the wind and challenge right away.
It was the 8th inning, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you saving? Yeah. What are you worried about? What are you saving it for? The chances are you're not going to have something.
I don't understand. That's a major faux pas by the manager because he's waiting to hear from his people looking at the replay, which I hate anyway. They shouldn't be allowed to do that anyway. The manager should have judgment to do it rather than looking at the replay. It's like looking at the dealer's hole card before he turns it over. It's not fair.
No urgency, man. Look, same thing. We went back a couple days ago. Romuto, there's that bad strikeout call on him. Rob doesn't say a word. They flash to him. He's not even saying anything. It's just more evidence. And I'm not putting all this on Rob Thompson, and I don't think you are either.
You are.
No, I'm not.
You see, I opened a can for you.
No, I'm not putting it all on Rob.
Right in the can.
I'm not putting it all on Rob Thompson. I think he needs to be a little bit more vocal at times. But you look at this lineup, you look at this pitching staff, a lot of it I think has to go to Dombrowski, man. I mean, you ran it back. You didn't make bigger moves. I love the Luzardo move, obviously. But the bullpen... and you're right, though. Jordan Romano dn't pitch terribly yesterday.
He deserved better fate. I mean, that pitch that Alonso hit was kind of a slider, a low and outside part of the plate, and he just flicked it out there. That's a tough break.
Yeah, the pitch to Alonso was a good pitch. The pitch to, was it Marte that has basically a broken bat single?
Broke his bat.
So, yeah, Romano, and his velocity was up, which was good.
Yeah. So, unfair fate. I know people were broiling him on social media after that happened. But, if you look at the replay and the pitches where they were, that's just a hitter. Better offense.
Yeah. But maybe this outing was bad luck. Prior to this, it hasn't been.
The notion, the Mets, I think, are better. And I said that yesterday on a blog. Rob Thompson can't say that. But we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he has an opinion on this, even though I know that he can't say the Mets are better. But here's what he said.
Do you think there's a gap between you and the Mets based off of this week?
No.
How do you?
No.
Why not?
Because we're a good team.
Well, see, that perturbed him a little bit. Yeah, you're a good team, but maybe you could have answered it. Well, it looks like right now they're playing a little better than us, but I don't think they're a better team. You could have done that. You have to get indignant about the question.
Yeah,
that's what everybody's asking right now.
And I think it was on full display. The Mets are a better team.
They're better,
and you're right. He could have said right now they are, and we need to play better.
Yeah.
Harper, I thought, was a little bit better in his post game because he's like, I don't want to hear any more that it's early.
Yeah.
Probably a little pandering mixed in there, though, because he knows the fans.
Well, yes.
So I'm sure
was he answering John Kruk?
He was probably just saying,
John Kruk says it's early.
Yeah, Harper's like, all right.
John Kruk, no worries. It's
what
early.
do the fans want to hear me say? Oh, this is what they want to hear me say. Yeah, it's not early. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Rob Thompson, this is who he is, though, Mike. I mean, like you've said this before. When I've been critical of him, and I was critical of him not coming out of the dugout in the JT thing, you said it. He's not going to be someone he's not. So Rob
No,
Thompson's
he's
not going to.
And I appreciate that as a manager. I think that's the way to be a manager. I think Carlos Mendoza for the Mets is the same kind of way. Yeah, like a stoic manager that keeps his players believing in them and keeps their confidence up. I like that part of him. But I reserve the right to rip him in certain situations. Yesterday, it's ridiculous that he didn't get that challenge. Just foolish. It's like, what are you doing?
But this is why when we look at this team, and the reason that I'm maybe overreacting for it to be April, there are so many things that you can rip. Like it's not just the manager, it's not just Dombrowski, it's not just the pitching, it's not just your big bats. It's across the board. There are so many issues, and they keep saying, "Oh, well, it'll get better." I don't see it.
The classic example of Rob Thompson is the first cut we played with runners in scoring position struggles is the randomness of baseball. So, in other words, he could say, "Yeah, my players aren't coming through with those situations," but he doesn't want to say that because he knows that that'll anger them. And they'll lose confidence in the whole bit. So he always tries to keep the players' confidence up. And sometimes it's a blatant lie. Runners in scoring position is not the randomness of baseball if you have a plan in your freaking head on what you have to do in that at-bat. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
It's draft day. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update tonight in Green Bay. The first round of the NFL draft will kick off at 8 o'clock. The Eagles have the 32nd pick of the draft, so we are in for a long night here in Philadelphia. One player that's been mocked for the Birds consistently is Ole Miss defensive tackle Walter Nolan. When ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade Salciunas yesterday, he threw cold water on the idea of Nolan being available at 32.
Philadelphia got lucky on Jalen Carter. It's not going to get lucky on Walter Nolan like that, okay? I don't think he's falling to 32. I would expect that he's gone somewhere in the teens would be my guess.
Tonight from 6 to midnight, our own Andrew DeCecco, Bill Colarulo, and Tyrone Johnson will be at Randall's at the Legacy Club for reacting to the first round of the NFL draft. The draft, of course, could take your mind off the Phillies, who were swept by the Mets following a 4-3 loss to New York in 10 innings. Yesterday, the offense only pushed one run across in the top of the 10th, and Jordan Romano blew another save en route to the loss. Phillies are now 13-12, have the day off before they start a 3-game set in Chicago against the Cubs. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best Birds 2025 NFL Draft coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. We do have some texts regarding the fighting Philadelphia Phillies. Let's see what we got today, Ray.
We do have some text. We got the topper with no sense of urgency, and it is getting tiring to watch. I think it rubs off on the players, too. He even sounds like a turtle when he talks. MJ in Pottstown.
Well, I don't know if he sounds like a turtle.
What does a turtle sound like?
Cheap shot. I don't know what that means. Turtle.
I think it just means he's slow.
Yeah, well,
Like he's just not very quick-witted.
It's a randomness of baseball, really. In any event, I'm starting to get down on my boy Rob. I don't want to do that. I don't want to start mocking his voice.
Look, this is weird coming from me because I've been a lot more critical of Rob Thompson than you have in the past. I just don't look at this team right now and put it all on the manager. And I've seen people already on Twitter talking about how they need to fire Rob Thompson. And I don't know what that does for a lineup that's clearly flawed. How does firing the manager help fill the holes that this team has?
It doesn't. It's silly. It's reactionary talk from fan base that's pissed right now. Let's move on. We got another text?
Yeah, we got Kevin in Newtown. Mike is absolutely correct. There's a serious lack of situational awareness with this Phillies team.
Listen, this is what a hitting coach is there for, to stress situations. Now, if you want to blame Kevin Long, if you don't think Kevin Long is stressing situations, okay, here's the plan in certain situations. When we have guys on base, it's one out. The last thing we can afford to do is squander that run on third base. It would be nice if we score all three, but we can't have a guy on third base with less than 2 outs not score. So here's the plan. If you feel that you can hit this ball hard and get a base hit, we score 2 runs. If not, get a pitch that you can lift. Get a pitch that you can lift and a run scores. That's got to be the plan in your head. So your only plan is to say, okay, I need to get a fly ball pitch here. And that reduces your thought pattern as a hitter. That's the only thing you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about whether he's going to throw a slider or whether he's going to throw a fastball or whether he's going to go high or high low. You got to find a pitch in the zone that makes you hit a fly ball. That's what they don't do.
No, they have not. What's interesting, though, Mike, is I was looking at the numbers of them with runners in scoring position because I thought it was going to be a lot worse because it feels worse. Like if you look at their average with runners in scoring position this season, they are 13th in baseball. But when you watch these games, it doesn't feel like they're probably in the bottom of the league. It doesn't feel like in the clutch moments that they come through.
They haven't come through in the clutch moments. Let's face it. Against the really good teams, they haven't played very well. They haven't had runners in scoring position score. They just have. I mean, look at all the at-bats they squandered yesterday in situations. You can't not get those runs in. And then you're stressing and then here comes the onus on the bad bullpen. Oh, the bullpen failed again. Well, guess what? If you score 6 frickin' runs, you should have a cushion.
Yeah, how many extra base hits did they have yesterday?
I don't know. Did they have a base hit?
I think it may have been 0 yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think they had an extra base hit.
Yep. Not a single extra base hit yesterday. I don't know how that happens with this lineup.
It just can't happen. And again, you want to blame a hitting coach. It's when you get in the batter's box, you need to have a plan. You've done study on what that pitcher's tendencies are. At least you should have done. In batting practice, what are you doing in batting practice? When you get a ball, you hit it the other way. Like they practice hitting it the other way. They practice hitting fly balls on balls that are up and in. They go over these kind of situations. When they get in the batter's box, they don't put the lesson forth. They just don't. And the hitting coach, I feel sorry for Kevin Long. I really do. He's, by all accounts, a good hitting coach, telling them the right things. So when people say fire the hitting coach, that's not going to make these guys a better hitter. Those guys make themselves a better hitter by knowing situations.
Yeah, you and I are eye to eye on this, man. I'm not blaming Thompson. I'm not blaming the hitting coach. I'm not blaming the pitching coach. At a certain point, it's the personnel. And that's where I think we are right now. Ray, are you just as upset as we are with this Phillies team? You're usually Mr. Positivity.
Yeah, I don't know what there is to be positive about after getting swept by the Mets. The fact that it's only April. Like, that's the only thing you could keep telling yourself if you want to be positive today. But you just got swept by the team that beat you in October. I feel like I'm back at the beginning of October again.
5 games back already. Too.
Did they? I just want to go into the 10th inning a little bit. JT walks, bumps, singles. There's bases loaded, 1 out. Starts up. Now, Diaz was out of the game by then, right? Diaz took himself out of the game. That wasn't Diaz.
Yeah, that was a weird play, wasn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't Diaz that pitched the start there, right?
In the
What in the Kranick?
You're talking about in the 10th?
In the 10th inning.
Yeah, I don't
Diaz
believe
has been taken out of the game when he faced Stott. So they've seen Kranick during the series. They know exactly what he throws.
Yeah, correct.
So Stott is now okay. I see this guy. I know how he puts me the first time, and he hits a pop fly. He doesn't drive the ball. Like those are the kind of things that make me crazy. Because then you put it on the next guy, the onus with 2 outs, and now he's squeezing the back because his teammate didn't come through. So now it's up to him. That's an extra mounting pressure on that guy.
Would you have sent Castellanos in that situation?
No, he was dead out on that.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not going to throw him out twice at the plate.
I think it would have been close though.
No,
It
would not have been close.
Because he hit it. I'm looking at he hit it 254 feet. It was the center fielder Tyrone Taylor. I mean, Soto was throwing the ball.
He had a line drive. Tyrone Taylor's a good arm. I would not have sent him. He's not. What are we talking about here? Michael Johnson, rounding third.
I know it's Casty. It was Casty, but I mean he's on third. I mean it's not rounding third. He's tagging up.
Oh, was that the tag up play or was it a hit?
Well, you're talking about when Stott flew out. Right?
Oh, yeah.
When Stott flew out to center in the 10th.
No, that was a short fly.
So it was to center field.
You can't make the third out there.
And I don't think they wanted to risk Cassie getting thrown out a second time, but
yeah, that's what I mean.
it was close. I thought it was.
Out.
I thought it was close that they could have considered sending him.
And then you're out of the inning with a man on third base.
Yeah. Instead, Kepler comes up and
all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the leadoff hitter today. He hails from Bethlehem, PA. We finally found a walk-up song for Dr. Mad Elf.
I called a bartender.
Yeah.
I said, look, man, come down here. You got down there. So what you want? One bourbon.
One shot and one beer. Ladies and gentlemen, from Bethlehem, PA, Dr. Mad Elf, Greg from Bethlehem. What's up, Greg?
Good morning, gentlemen. As usual, I use that term loosely.
What'd you think of your walk-up song?
I love it.
Oh.
I love it. I should have said that.
I say, look
Very
here, man.
nice.
Come down here.
Yeah. Yeah. I always enjoyed that song.
There you go.
It's easy to...
By the way,
Thank you.
Delaware's finest, George Thorogood.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Very good. Very good. I didn't know that either. It's easy to find things to be critical on the Phillies, and I, in my head, tried to turn it around and think of what's trending upward. And the only things I had to think about it for a while, and the only things I could think of were the hitting by Rojas, Sosa, Bohm, and maybe Stott. Other than that, and they're trending up. I mean, they're not hitting great, but they're trending upward. I really couldn't think of anything else that I felt was trending upward.
Yeah, they haven't been a fun team to watch. You know, they really haven't. You know, fun comes with clutch hitting. And they don't do that. Like, fun comes from getting a big hit to score a guy from second base. They just aren't doing that kind of thing.
No, I mean, they get people in scoring position. They just, situational hitting is not their forte.
No, it's terrible. And it shows that they're not. When you don't situationally hit, you have no plan. You just don't. You're just going up there. And Major League players should have a plan. They're good enough hitters to have a plan to be able to put a ball where they want to put if they get that certain pitch. That's what goes into study.
Right. Yeah, they look lost many times.
They do. Greg, nice hearing from you.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. There he goes, Greg.
I thought Greg would have had a little bit more energy that you gave him his own walk-up song.
I don't think he imbibed this morning.
You think he was a little calmer today?
I think he had maybe some eggs and bacon, not the
You know why?
Liquid refreshment.
It's going to be a long night for him. We got the draft tonight.
We do have the draft. And on the other
He's pacing
side,
himself.
Bill Colarulo's analysis of the draft tonight. Are you ready, Bill?
Sure. Always ready.
Sure. You don't sound very ready.
Well, I'll explain it on the other side. It's an interesting draft. It really is an interesting draft tonight.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
Does that mean you're going to do the work now during the commercial?
No, trust me, I've done a lot of work on this draft.
You got a couple pads there for you? You got a couple of yellow pads of
always,
information?
Man. Always.
All right, 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Tyrone Johnson.
Uh, 10:41, Mike Missanelli show. All right, we got the Phillies. We have serious subjects on the board. Phillies in the NFL draft. We're going to get into a second, but a little later in the show. Somehow the show is going to morph into chat about back hair.
Okay. You ready for this one, Ray?
Ray, you got back hair?
I'm embarrassed.
I would say no.
You would say no?
No, I'm not ready for the conversation. Also, no, not a backyard.
You're not ready for the conversation?
No.
It's going to come a little later in the show.
Yeah, I'm not a very hairy Italian either.
I have to weave my way into that subject. So it's coming. Just,
Okay.
It's a little tease.
Yeah. Right, just so you know, I was teased during the break about what it's going to be. You're going to enjoy this conversation.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, right? That's coming a little later. So we'll have all kinds of silly things to talk about, as we normally do. In fact, we have a woman on social media who commented on our discussion yesterday about taking your own candy into a movie theater.
Yeah, she's a big fan of the show. She's tagged me before, so we got that coming up, too.
Yeah, we're going to play that in a little bit. But right now, it's time for NFL Draft. The Eagles picking 32. Do we have any word, anything that's going on in the Eagles' chambers here about what they're going to do, what they might do, trade up, trade down, stay there?
So the short answer, no, not at all. And when you said, am I ready for my draft analysis? And I said, sure. The reason I said that, this may be one of the most wild drafts I can remember in recent memory that outside of like the top 2 picks, there is no consensus, like general consensus on who the top prospects are. Depending on who you're reading, depending on the draft analyst that you're listening to, there's guys that are going in the top 10, and then those same guys are going in the second round. Like, this is all over the place, which I think is going to make for a pretty wild draft tonight because you just have no idea where these teams are going to go or where they value people. Like, for instance, the guy that I really like, this Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. He was at Texas A&M, and then he transferred to Ole Miss. Has all of the physical attributes you want in a defensive tackle. I love this kid. There's some people who have him going in the top 15, and then there's others who have him dropping all the way into the second round. This is a guy, though, where I can not imagine if he is on the board at 32 that the Eagles would let him go. So that would be one area they could go, Walter Nolan. But then, does Howie want to trade up? Does he want to try to get a Malachi Starks, the safety out of Georgia that could be a plug-and-play type guy? I've seen even as high as Mikael Williams, another Georgia edge rusher. If they stay put, would they take another defensive tackle if he was to fall? That Derek Harmon out of Oregon. But again, depending on who you're reading, Harmon may be already off the board or he may be there. It is a very wild draft. That's why I think you're going to have to be paying attention. Another one that they could potentially do would be the tight end position. We know they like this guy, Mason Taylor. I heard Andrew DeCecco talking today. Would they trade up for the tight end out of Michigan, that Colston Loveland, that a lot of people seem to like? This is going to be a wild night, Mike, and that's why I think it's so hard to analyze what the Eagles are going to do because, frankly, I don't think they have any idea what they're going to do.
What is the thing on Walter Nolan? Why could he be such a fluctuation? What is holding people back?
So it's interesting because you keep hearing this character concerns being thrown around, but yet, and Dylan, who does a lot of articles on our 975thefanatic.com site, he scoured the internet looking for specific examples of what these character concerns could be for Walter Nolan, and he found nothing. It's all just generalizations. There's no exact situation where it's, he did this or he did that. It's just this general, character concerns.
He might have been a pain in the ass in practice.
It's possible.
That's stuff that coaches talk about.
It's possible, but I told you, and I stand by this, the people I spoke to at the Eagles do not view Walter Nolan as having any character concerns. They really love him. So I think if he was to be there at 32, there's no way that the Eagles would not draft Walter Nolan. In my opinion, I think if he's there, I just don't see him falling. I know some people, I think Schrager from ESPN, Peter Schrager, has him going in the second round. And then if you look at like a Daniel Jeremiah mock draft, he's got him going in the top 15. So who knows? But I don't know what the issues could be with Walter Nolan. Some people have said, too, that his potential has never matched his production at the college level. Like, he only had 4 sacks at Texas A&M, I believe, before he transferred. He only had 6.5 sacks at Ole Miss, where if you look at his physical attributes, this should have been a guy that was producing a lot higher than that. But you get him in here and you get him with the right coaching staff and you put him next to Jalen Carter, I think you're going to see a plug-and-play defensive tackle who's going to start right away.
All right, what other possibilities? If they stay at 32, and I'm reading a lot about the edge rusher from Boston College.
Yeah, Donovan Ezeruoku.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people like Ezeroku as well. Look, he finished second in all of college football with 16 and a half sacks. So we know the guy can get after the quarterback. Whether or not his game can translate to the pro level, you never know. I think one of the issues with him is how's he going to be against the run. So if you bring him in just as a straight pass rusher, maybe it works. Maybe he can get some reps young, but he needs to grow as a run stopper as well. See, I always get nervous about bringing the hometown kid into his hometown. Like I think some people look at it and they say like, oh, that would be great for a guy. But put yourself in the shoes of a player who's making the transition from the college game to the professional game. And now not only do you have to deal with that, you got every single person you've ever known because you grew up around here hitting you up for tickets. Yeah. There's a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
I almost would like bringing a guy who's not from around here.
I agree with you on that, actually.
Yeah, so Ezeroku's a local kid. You know, how does he transition with every single person
Where
ever
did he
know?
go to school?
I think he went
Jersey kid?
Yeah, I think he went to Winslow Township, didn't he?
What's all these Jersey? What is
Williamstown. He went to Williamstown, Ezeroku.
What's going on with that up there?
Dude,
He's a linebacker.
We're a football
too,
powerhouse.
from Timber
man.
Creek.
Jihad Campbell.
What is it with the Jersey prospects?
Dude, it's in the water, man. We're
the water?
great football players.
Is it corn and
we're great football players.
Roast beef and corn out there? What is?
Yeah, wait.
Mashed potatoes.
I'm throwing myself in the mix.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I think it's just look. There's a lot of kids who play football in Jersey, so the percentages aren't
good
high.
high school programs out there. No doubt about it. 610-632-0975. You want to climb in via phone call or text? We'd love to hear from you on the NFL draft and on your Fighting Phils. Reeling a little bit. They get swept by the Mets. Oof. How many straight losses is that to the Mets? What was that, like 7?
7 straight wins.
Oh,
you talking about against the Phillies?
yeah.
I'd have to look that up, but the Mets have won 7 straight just in general.
Yeah, against the Phillies. What have they there's some bad record Phillies have had against the Mets. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
It's draft day. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update tonight in Green Bay. The first round of the NFL draft will kick off at 8 o'clock. The Eagles have the 32nd pick in the draft, so we're in for a long night here in Philadelphia. One player that's been mocked to the birds a ton is Ole Miss defensive tackle Walter Nolan, but when ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, he threw cold water on the idea of Nolan being available at pick 32.
Philadelphia got lucky on Jalen Carter. It's not going to get lucky on Walter Nolan like that, okay? I don't think he's falling to 32. I would expect that he's gone somewhere in the teens would be my guess.
Tonight from 6 to midnight, our own Andrew DeCecco, Bill Colarulo, and Tyrone Johnson will be at Randall's at the Legacy Club reacting to the first round of the NFL draft. And the draft could be a good thing to take your mind off the Phillies, who were swept by the Mets this week following a 4-3 loss in 10 innings in New York yesterday afternoon. The offense only pushed across 1 run in the top of the 10th, then Jordan Romano blew another save en route to the loss. Phillies now 13-12 on the season, have the day off today before they start a 3-game set out in Chicago against the Cubs. This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best Birds 2025 draft coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 Fanatic, 610-632-0975. A lot of people on social media asking how Bill's furniture put together project did yesterday. Bill, you want to give us an update?
Yeah, so first of all, I just want people to understand the magnitude of this job, because some people said all I'm going to do is has to unfold them and put pillows on them. That is not correct. 4 boxes have come. 4 separate boxes. There's 2 chairs in 3 of the boxes, and then a table in another one that needs to get put together with all Allen wrenches. I was able to build 2 chairs yesterday by myself. Father-in-law wasn't there. By myself. And then the baby started crying. So I had to take over for the baby. So this is going to be a weekend job. I'm not going to have time tonight because I'll be at our draft special.
Where was your wife at this time?
She was with a client.
She was with a client.
Correct. And then prepping dinner. So I said, I'll take the baby, because that's the kind of husband I am.
Prepping dinner and training someone at the same time?
Actually, she prepped dinner, went to train the client in our gym, and then during that came up to throw the food in the oven and then ran back down.
Oh, okay.
So I was dealing with the baby. So I did build 2 chairs, very sturdy.
Can you put the baby in one of the chairs you built? And then build the other ones?
Well, that's what I was doing. She has a little chair I had her in. So she's watching Dad put this together very efficiently.
That's so cute.
But then she started crying, and I had to pick her up. So I will do it. I'll take a picture.
That, huh?
Yeah,
Started crying when she saw him do it wrong.
Maybe.
She's like, no.
So
Never gonna have
did
any
you do it
outdoor
right?
furniture.
Were they solid? They 100%?
They are, but I will admit, I started to put it together and then realized I had one of the backs backwards
Wrong.
and all that. But I'm doing it, man. I know what I'm
You should
doing.
have taken video of that.
You guys don't give me enough credit.
should have taken video of that.
You know, maybe
Put
what
it
I'll
on
do
social
is
media.
I'll do like a time lapse. I'll set up the camera, me putting it all together.
Yeah. You know what I did yesterday? I laid manure.
Did you also provide the manure?
Yes.
Oh, you did.
I went. Well, here's the thing.
Right, you did a double take. What?
I bought the manure. I bought the manure at Lowe's. I had like 3 big bags of manure. They were heavy. They're like 60-pound bags, right? So I put them in my hatch. I forget that they're in the hatch. So yesterday, when I parked here. Of course, you close up all your windows, and it was really hot. What does that do to bags of manure in your cab?
Oh, man. The smell must have been ungodly.
I got in my car after yesterday's show, and I swear to God, it was a toilet. It was unbelievable.
I could actually smell it.
No, really. It's like cow manure compost. It was stankin'.
Oh. Does it still smell today?
It's got a little linger. You know, it's funny. The smell kind of attaches. You know, it's like an entity. It attaches to the inside of the walls of your car.
Oh man! Wait, what car did you put it in?
My Telluride from Gateway Kia.
It's a beautiful car.
It is.
You got a beautiful interior in that thing
I'm
too.
saying this now because now they're listening, saying, "What? Well, you're going to return a car that stinks like manure?" So I got to get some kind of. I got to get one of those. I've never had one of these in my life. You know, those little pine scent things that you hang from the roof.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan either.
I've never done that. I may have to do that now before I return the car.
You just said something that I don't think a lot of people know. You said you hang it from your rearview mirror. You know you're not supposed to hang anything from the rearview mirror? You could actually get a ticket for hanging something from your rearview mirror. It's considered an obstruction of your view when you drive.
Really?
Everybody hangs things from the rearview
Is that
mirror.
a Jersey rule? I've never experienced that rule in PA.
Maybe it is just in Jersey. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check that. But you're not supposed to hang.
Wait, you have a parking pass and you stick it on the rearview mirror. Is that a violation also?
If it's high enough, if it's like, it just can't hang below the rearview mirror that can obstruct your view.
You know, any parking pass you hang on your rearview mirror is going to obstruct your view, no?
I'll have to look into that. I'll have to look into it.
I'll have to look into that. All right. So
wait, are you spreading the manure yourself too?
Yes. I dumped the manure and some organic garden soil on top of my plot of dirt that I plant. And then I get a tiller, and I'll till that. So I'll grind all that up to make it loose, the loose dirt.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh yeah, I'm a tomato grower from way back. It's in my genes, Bill.
It is in your genes. I'm having a major problem with my front lawn, so I don't want to bore you with that.
No, I know your front lawn story, and it has to do with construction people. When they build a house, they put in dirty fill.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad soil. I can't get the grass to grow. I'm gonna have to I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and put in sprinkler system and then either sod it or resoil. I got to do something.
You got rocky soil because that's what they do to fill up the ground. They use the soil that has rocks in it, and that will prevent you from growing good grass.
Yeah, it's an embarrassing front lawn.
I know all this stuff, right? See that? You taking notes?
I wasn't taking notes. I am taken aback by the fact I regard you as a very intelligent man. To leave the manure in your car on a day like that I'm still kind of floored by the fact that you would make that crucial of an error.
So you know what it was? It's lazy ass. Yeah. So when I bought the Lowe's stuff, it was at 7:00 at night. So when I got back home, it was a little dark. I said, I'm not going to schlep that manure back there now. So I left it in there, and then I forgot that it was there. So then I drove to work on a hot day, and it kind of lit up the manure.
Man.
I'm kind of shocked it didn't smell the next morning.
It didn't. Oh, I got in the car to drive to work, you mean?
Yeah.
No, it was cool temps. It was cool temps.
I can't say I've had a lot of experience transporting manure.
It was like putting the manure in the refrigerator. It chilled the manure smell.
Got it.
But when, like, a whole 80-degree day, when I'm in here all day, that percolates it.
Important. So, for future reference, should bring a cooler to put the manure in to ensure.
or you count on a cool night.
Okay.
Or you don't leave it in there.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a lazy ass.
Seems like the lesson here.
You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show. It is on WPN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, let's start the 11 o'clock hour. We haven't gotten a lot of calls because of our phone system, which I am told, Bill, will be installed next week.
Wow, that's breaking news.
That's what I've been told.
Right, you should have hit the breaking news sounder for that.
Breaking news sounder, yes. The new phone system will be in next week.
From 97.5
and if it
The
isn't,
Fanatic and 97.5 The Fanatic.
I'm ripping some people.
Oh, great.
In any event, we haven't had a lot of sports talk calls, so we rely on certain parodies of sports talk calls. And our guy, DJ Gabriel, who basically does a thing where it's a mockery of a sports call, where he goes over the top with stuff, right?
Very hilarious.
And so DJ Gabriel this time is talking about
it's Gabe Real, by the way.
I've been saying Gabe Real.
I've been saying Gabriel too, but I think it's DJ Gabe Real.
Yeah. Okay, so he's talking about the worst draft picks,
correct,
that we've had football-wise in this city. And here he is, DJ Gabe Real.
5 worst draft picks in Philadelphia sports history. That's easy, John. Number 5, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. We picked this clown over DK Metcalf, by the way, because we always want to be the smartest guy in the room and get the sleeper pick. Next thing you know, the kid's at Lehigh, and it's too hot for him, so his mother's out there holding an umbrella. You do the math on that one, Howie. It's a disgrace. These kids nowadays, John, they never had to work for nothing, okay? They didn't have to walk to the no-name food store in the snow like we did, okay? And that's why they're softer than Boost Corners donuts. Number 4, Markelle Fultz. What a joke, John. Oh, does he still need more time, John? Is that what they're still saying now? I seen better jumpers at the Lansdowne Boys Club than I seen with this kid. Number 3, J.D. Drew. Okay? Don't think he's getting off the hook, John. That creep wanted $10 million from us when he was worth about $10. Okay? And I'll tell you what, the only regret I have, John, is that when I threw batteries at him, that they weren't D batteries. Number 2, Jalen Reagor. Okay? I still can't believe we picked that clown, John. He stunk. He was Nelson Aguilar 2.0, okay? Couldn't catch a cold at the Springfield Chuck E. Cheese, okay? His hands were about as efficient as the Island Ave DMV, John. Number 1, without a doubt, John, is Danny Watkins, okay? What are you, freaking kidding me? You pull a 26-year-old firefighter out of the Tom and Jerry's and call it a draft pick? It's a disgrace. And I'll tell you what, how he took that beard in the face at the parade, he deserved it, John. That one was for Danny Watkins, sir.
That one was
All right,
Danny
here goes
Watkins.
DJ Gabriel.
DJ Gabriel,
Gabriel,
who used to work with you at some point.
He did?
He's the kid who put in the article, you once called him, you called him something.
Called him an idiot.
You called him an idiot, and he took it as a badge of honor.
He worked as an
I think he was an intern here way back in the day. Right, Ray? Do you remember that article?
Is his real name Gabe?
I'm not sure.
I remember a Gabe.
I'm not sure, but he said you called him an
It
idiot.
doesn't sound like Gabe, though, the Gabe that I knew.
Well, I think he's also putting on a voice, but
His name is Gabe.
His name is Gabe?
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I knew a Gabe. Oh, all right.
so him and I had exchanged social media messages before, and he said he's a huge fan of our show.
Ask him what his last name is.
Mahalik.
Is it Racine?
You have it, right?
Mahalik.
See, I don't know Mahalik. I knew a Gabe Racine. All right. Well, whatever. He knows me.
Yeah, he said you were his favorite sports talk host.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I called him an idiot.
But what do you think of his list? Top 5 worst draft
Pretty
picks.
good. Pretty good list, John.
Yeah, Watkins was a disaster.
He was.
But that one was more.
John.
That one, I know Howie. He's blaming Howie for it. That one was more Andy. That was Andy Reid right there.
I like when he uses John.
I don't know why he
comes
uses
out
John.
of nowhere. I'll tell you something, John.
Well, I don't know if you
maybe be referring to our own John.
I don't know if you pick up on it. There's always Delco references and everything.
Oh, he's got the Delco accent. He's got the Delco references.
Everything
Absolutely,
is a Delco.
He's a Delco man.
Yes, so everything has a Delco reference, which makes it even funnier.
All right, so let's get back to the text board. We take a break. We'll come back and we'll do some draft stuff. All right, what are they saying, Phillies or draft-wise?
All right, we had some people with advice for fixing your car, but getting back to the Phillies conversation here. Under 500 with Turner, he's a loser. The Phillies are the Sixers. The Sixers are the Phillies. Dead.
Ouch. Ouch. You see the Sixers comparison, Mike.
Yeah.
Here's what's been making me nervous is we heard the same things when the Sixers season started. It's early. It's early. Will you guys stop overreacting? It's early. And now we're hearing it about the Philly season, and I got PTSD from what happened with the Sixers. Because I was saying the same thing. I think Ray and I both were here the first couple weeks. Listen, they're ramping them up, Mike, trying to calm you down. They're ramping Joel up. How ridiculous do we sound now, Ray? He's ramping up, Mike. It's fine.
John Kruk made me feel bad that I was feeling this way the other day on the broadcast when he said, oh, yeah, like they don't have 153 games to make it up. It made me feel bad. I go, okay, well, Kruk thinks it's no big deal. Maybe I shouldn't think it's no big deal.
Well, and that's why when you look at this baseball team, though, which is pretty much an identical team to what you saw last year, it's not just 20 games. When you're talking close to 100 games, this team's played 500 ball.
Speaking of Kruk and McCarthy, I got an observation I want to hit after the break. An observation. First of all, I'm gonna rip you guys. It's meant to rip you guys, but also make another observation.
Rip us?
Yeah, rip you and Ray.
Can't wait.
All right, 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Now, an NFL draft process.
Google me.
What's the matter with you?
Your mind works in a very interesting way.
I'm the dumbest coach in the world.
Hell yeah.
I'm embarrassed.
Let's make some noise. Come on.
That sounds like a DNA thing.
You don't know basketball. Love it. Love it.
You're very bold.
Bill, you were right all along.
I just want to be out of this building.
Ray's like
He gets so excited.
he's like the guy who like the guy who does the bands. Like you go to a concert and they're mixing it all. You know, that's Ray.
It's
The mixer.
It has become, Ray and I have talked about this, though. The drop board has become Ray's voice on the show. It's the way he communicates with the audience.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. All right, so let me, what I was saying about the broadcast. I like the broadcast a lot. I like Tom and Kruk. Have you noticed that McCarthy is Kruk's biggest audience, first of all? No matter what Kruk says, McCarthy goes, he'll have to put in a have you noticed that? It's always he's always got a even if it's funnier, he go ha 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 ha. But even if it's not funny, he'll go ha ha. It has occurred to me that you guys never do that to me.
There you go, Ray.
Seriously, I could have a quip. I get crickets. Now McCarthy doesn't think it's that overly funny what Kruk's saying, but he gives him a little reinforcement by going, because Kruk is trying to say something funny.
So you want me to give you the pity laugh?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is a little support for the cause. You know, you want to keep the host's spirits up. Like Rob Thompson wants to keep the confidence in his players. You guys almost go the opposite way. Like you have no reaction at all. You're crickets when I say something.
So is that?
I say a lot of funny stuff.
I was going to say, is that our fault or yours?
I got to be honest with you. I say a lot of funny stuff that would at least elicit a Tom McCarthy.
But is that our fault or yours? Like Kruk at least has some funniness
on
to
its
him.
face, it's funny, and you guys just don't want to give me the I don't know. You don't want to give me the satisfaction. There's something.
All right, Ray, keep that.
You guys could absolutely laugh a lot more at me.
All right, let's practice. Say something funny.
I can't when produced like say something funny. I can't do that. But there's a lot of funny stuff that I'll say during the course of a show. People will verify it. I see it on social media all the time. You say a lot of funny stuff. I go, really? Because I would never know by the people I work with. Oh. Yeah,
right, well,
even if you give me something like that.
We'll try to humor you.
Positive reinforcement. That means the next time I come to the plate, I'm ready to hit.
So you want me to laugh at your jokes and agree with your bad sports takes? Is that where the show is headed?
Well, there's never a bad sports take because now I know you're just trying to get under my skin. But I do say a lot of funny stuff. I must admit.
No, that was funny.
Problem, my mic is default off, so I don't want to put this all on Bill, but this is kind of all on Bill.
You can flash. You could go on. You could do that anytime you want.
Yeah.
Or what if I just pull that laugh you just did, I put it on the drop board, and that becomes my laugh? I'm a silent laugher. I can't help it.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm a silent laugher.
I don't know what my laugh
all right,
is.
here's the other thing I've noticed about McCarthy. He has never said real Muto once.
He calls him JT?
He calls him JT all the time. He has never seen real Muto. And I guess like sometimes he'll say Castellanos. Sometimes he'll say Harper. Sometimes he'll say Bohm.
But
he'll
he
use
always
the
says
last
JT.
name for almost everybody except real. He has never said real Muto.
Is this true, Ray? Have you picked up on this? I haven't noticed this.
I haven't noticed this either. I know he does go first name a lot.
You concentrate on this. Now, okay, yeah, he'll go first name a lot, but he'll also use the last name for most players. Like one guy that he never said the first name for was Gene Segura. He was always say Segura. He would never say Gene. There's something weird about it. You know, I don't know what. It just flows naturally. He says JT.
Now I'm going to be.
It's always JT. It's never real Muto.
Now I'm going to be listening to it. I have not picked up on that. Do you think it's because real Muto's not the easiest? I mean, it's an easy name, but it's not.
It's easier to say JT.
Yeah.
It's chummier to say JT. You know, when you got a JT, when you got initials, it's chummier to say that. It feels better.
And I'll be on the lookout for it now.
Now, he'll say Trey a lot. I don't think he says Turner either.
Yeah, he doesn't call him Turner.
He'll say Trey.
He calls him Trey.
But he'll say Bohm.
He'll call him Trey Turner. He'll do the double name.
He's not. They say Kepler. They're not at max yet. Does he say Johan? He doesn't say Nick. He'll say Castellanos.
You pick up on all this
I pick up on all this stuff. It's weird. But it's always JT. I have never heard him say Real Muto.
What does he call Dub-Dubs? They call him Weston?
They called him Weston yesterday during the broadcast. I noticed.
But as you're talking about this, I know that you want to pick apart the bad things that Johan Rojas did. But I do want to talk about what happened in the top of the fourth.
This is the merits of Johan Rojas? Now you're going to segue? I've gone from Tom McCarthy and John Kruk. Now you're going to tell me.
Yeah, because you just reminded me.
The merits of Johan Rojas?
You just reminded me. Top of the fourth inning. 2 outs.
Base hit.
Weston Wilson comes up. Line drive single with 2 outs. Sosa advances to second. Then Johan Rojas comes out. 2 outs. RBI single.
Yeah. Any pitcher that gives up a hit to Rojas without throwing a slider that breaks to the outside part of the plate should be immediately sued by his teammates.
It was a changeup that was outside that he put right up the middle.
Yeah.
Listen, man, 2 out singles by both those guys.
Speeding up the guy's bat, no reason for it.
Weston Wilson last night.
Slider away, fastball's up and in. Johan Rojas won't get a hit.
But our man Dub-Dub yesterday. 2 at-bats. One of them was ruled an error that could have easily been ruled a base hit. He hit that thing with 114 exit velocity.
One hopper to the third baseman and handcuffed Beatty, who can't play third base.
And then he gets the single.
Yeah.
Look, man.
Power hitter, though. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't hit his home run there since he had 30 home runs in the minor leagues.
It was 107 exit velocity. I don't want to exaggerate. 107, not 114. But I look at this line, and I said this to you off air before the show. I get that you're not a huge Rojas guy and a huge Wilson guy. Those 2 guys are not where we should be directing our anger after what we saw in this Mets series. It's the big bats. It's the Turners, the Harpers, the Schwarbers, the Castellanos. They're the guys that need to show up, man. Realmuto 0 for 4 yesterday, or as McCarthy likes to call him, JT.
You know what I like to call you? You're a Declaration of Independence fan. Give us you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry, yearning to be free. You love those guys. You love those type of guys.
It's the whole team!
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
It's draft day. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Tonight in Green Bay, the first round of the NFL Draft will kick off at 8 o'clock. The Eagles have the 32nd pick of the draft, so we are in for a long night here in Philadelphia. One player that's been mocked to the Eagles a number of times is Ole Miss defensive tackle Walter Nolan, but when ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, he threw cold water on the idea of Nolan being available at 32.
Philadelphia got lucky on Jalen Carter. It's not going to get lucky on Walter Nolan like that, okay? I don't think he's falling to 32. I would expect that he's gone somewhere in the teens would be my guess.
Tonight from 6 to midnight, our own Andrew DeCecco, Bill Colarulo, and Tyrone Johnson will be at Randall's at the Legacy Club reacting to the first round of the NFL Draft. That draft tonight, of course, could take your mind off the Phillies, who were swept by the Mets this week following a 4-3 loss in New York in 10 innings. The offense only pushed across 1 run in the top of the 10th, and then Jordan Romano blew the game in the bottom half of the inning. Phillies now 13-12 on the season, have a day off before they start a 3-game set in Chicago against the Cubs this weekend. This update's brought to you by Batteries Plus. Remember when you had a guy, someone who could fix anything? They still exist at Batteries Plus. Their expert knowledge on batteries will have you on your way and good to go in no time. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge. I'm Ray Dunn, and your home for the best Birds 2025 draft coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Congratulations to the governor, Josh Shapiro, who's reeling from that terrible situation that happened at the governor's mansion. He's doing a podcast now.
He had Vic Fangio on it yesterday.
Vic Fangio is his guest.
It's a pretty good get for the Gov.
Vic Fangio said, "Yeah, I've driven by the mansion many times. I've never had a chance to be in it."
Yeah, I was just watching it during the break. It's a pretty cool room they're doing the podcast in.
I'm so assuming the Gov's invite to me would be, forthcoming.
Ray and I are on next week.
See, I laugh at you guys. See the laugh?
How'd you know I was joking? How'd you know I was joking?
It's funny.
It's better he laughs at that. We'll let the shock of him seeing the two of us with him.
It's a funny joke.
Yeah, could you imagine if we were a little late getting here one day? Oh, we were with Governor Shapiro. We were on his pod.
We both take the day off.
Oh, you guys, you kill me.
But how about this? How about this quote from Vic Fangio on Shapiro's pod? They asked him about losing all these players. He says it's a part of the way it goes. Love to have kept all the guys, but in the NFL, the salary cap is real. But listen to this, quote unquote, in Howie we trust.
That's what he said?
From Vic Fangio.
In Howie we trust. Well, look at that. Is that pandering?
Well, he says this is more the quote.
It's pander, right? A little pander.
This is his time of the year. He realizes we lost 5 starters on defense and 2 of the top backups that we had for those guys, so we need to get better. So he's telling them, go get me some players, man. That's why I'm going to be very surprised if the Eagles don't come away with at least in the first 2 picks, one of their first 2 picks, a guy that has a real shot at being a starter on this defensive side of the football, whether it's a D tackle, a corner, a safety. We even saw that local linebacker Jahad Campbell in Mel Kiper's mock draft going to them.
Yeah.
Because you know what we haven't talked a lot about? We're talking about a lot of the starters, Mike. The Kobe Dean's probably not healthy to start the season. So you not only lost Aaron Burks, you don't have Nakobe Dean, and I know people are excited for Jeremiah Trotter Jr., but there's no guarantee he could step in.
No. In honor of the draft, Bill, I think we should do a little something here called the skill player draft and then the defensive draft between me and you.
With regard to what? Prospects or Eagles players?
Eagles players all time.
All time?
All time.
Okay.
All right? Just for funsies here. All right, Ray? You decide who picks first.
Mike, you pick first.
Thank you.
Pander.
And the first position will be quarterback.
Oh, bastard.
I'm going to sit here.
The most important position
believe
in
it
all
or
of
not,
sports.
I'm taking Jalen Hurts.
Believe it or not.
All this time you didn't laugh at me, I get revenge. I'm taking Hurts. Who you taking?
Number 5 will always love you.
Oh, you're taking Donovan McNabb.
Always love
All right, there you go. Donovan McNabb. All right, let's move on to running back.
Oh my God,
Bill,
this is ridiculous.
I'll give you the first pick for running back. We'll alternate. How's that?
Well, honestly, I know the top pick is Saquon, but you're going to get a good running back with your pick. I'll take Saquon, but I know where you're going to go.
Saquon?
I don't even think it's a question where you go.
All right, I got to give in. Although I'm partial to B. West. I'm going to take Shady.
You know, though, you're right. B. West was
very versatile player.
Those few years, B. West was unbelievable, man.
Yeah. All right, so McNabb, Saquon, Hurts, Shady. It's my pick. Receiver. I'm going to have to take the Eagles' best receiver who they ever had, A.J. Brown.
Whoa. Even though you hate him.
I don't hate him.
Yeah, you wanted to trade him for Abdul Carter.
Oh, I would have, yeah, but that doesn't mean I hate him. If we're going to pick the best receiver, I got to take A.J. Brown.
Now, I agree that I think A.J. Brown will go down as being the best receiver in franchise history when it's all said and done. But if we're putting prime against prime, no, not looking at longevity here, Terrell Owens is the best receiver they've ever had. So I'm going T.O.
Terrell Owens, a good selection. Maybe if I had time to think about that a little more, I would have gone the same way.
Timeout, though.
Yes.
I know this team is never actually going to take the field together.
Yeah.
But you got McNabb
and T.O.
Owens
together. You're right, Ray.
You better play really well in that one game.
Well, they were Magic together.
They were
Magic.
Magic. But Ray's right. I don't have. It's a short shelf life. Maybe they put their differences aside.
For you.
We're going to take social media votes on this, by the way. So far, it's McNabb, Saquon, T.O. Pretty good. Against Hurts, Shady, A.J. Oof. So far, I would think it's even. All right, let's move on. Another receiver.
Who's up, me?
I believe you are up. Crap.
No, there's a lot of receivers you could go here. Oh, man. I'm going to go with number 17.
Harold Carmichael?
Harold Carmichael. Man, McNabb, Saquon, T.O., and Carmichael. It's unstoppable.
I'm gonna keep the band together.
You go with Devontae?
And I'm going to take Devontae.
You realize you basically have this Eagles team. You've just replaced Saquon with LaShawn.
Well, listen, this was the best Eagle team ever, wasn't it? What am I picking, the schmoes?
Are we going three receivers or just two?
We're going 3 receivers.
All right, so you're up with another receiver pick.
I am up with another receiver pick here. Huh? Right. You got any suggestions for me?
Nah, I think you got this one.
All right, I'm going to go with Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, that's where I would have went.
In my slot.
Good old DJ.
All right. Deshaun Jackson. Who you got?
Man, there's so many options. Do I take Hank Basket? Do I go Jalen Rager? Do I go J.J. Arcega-Whiteside?
I think I've exhausted your...
Paul Turner.
No. I'm going with...
Paul Turner.
I'm going
Illinois.
with number 82.
Oh, Mike Quick.
Mike Quick.
Oh, man. Pretty good.
It's a pretty good receiving core.
That's not bad. I don't know who plays the slot, though.
Probably Quick.
Quick in the slot?
I would think. You're going to put T.O. and Carmichael on the outside. Mike Quick will be your slot receiver.
Carmichael, not a lot of speed, though.
That's why, yeah, but he's not going in the slot.
All right.
He's my red zone target.
Now it's the tight end. Is it you?
It is me.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to go with Zach Ertz.
You're going Ertz. I'm going to go Goddard.
You're going Goddard.
Well, who else would I go with?
Thought you were going to go with number 88 from back in the day.
Keith Jackson?
Keith Jackson was a stud.
You know what?
Oh, you already said it.
All right.
It's like moving the chess piece on the board.
I'll stay with
Once you lift
Goddard.
the hand off.
That might be my weak link there. Although, maybe not. All right, so there you go. Skill player draft. Who has the better skill team? It's Bill with McNabb, Saquon, T.O., Harold Carmichael, Mike Quick, Zach Ertz. It's me with Hurts, Shady, A.J. Devontae, Deshaun Jackson, Dallas Goddard. Ooh, it's tough, right? What do your instincts tell you?
I don't think you're going to like my instincts.
Bill?
You're going with mine?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I got to be honest. I think it's 6 in one, half dozen in the other, man. You're talking about two dominant teams.
I got news for you. I got speedier wide receivers. I got bigger play wide receivers. All 3 of my receivers out-quick your receivers.
I don't know, man. T.O. in his prime?
T.O., we can out-quick T.O. T.O. wasn't that fast.
No, I mean, look, you got the biggest.
You got
the biggest deep threat in NFL history.
I got the speediest receivers, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, you got a quicker team. I mean, put Jackson in any receiver group. That receiver group's the quickest
All right,
one.
Devontae, what are you kidding me? Come on now.
I just think you need a pretty physical defense to deal with Barkley, Owens. I mean, Ertz, you don't have to be physical to deal with.
Carmichael's a big
you
dude.
got bigger, slower guys. It's just a matter of speed versus slow.
Oh, Carmichael, I think I've said this before, too. Such a gentleman, man. Like, honestly, a really nice guy. Like, I was a nobody when I used to work down there. And he would still come over, say hello, shake your hand. Like, did that with everybody. Just a really good dude. You've met Harold before, right?
Yes. In fact, I have a story that involved Harold.
A good one or a bad one?
Doesn't make me look good.
Wow. That's not going to be a shock.
We are Chickies and Pete. I was at Chickies and Pete's one day with my buddies at their game. So there were this rowdy bunch of guys that were at the next table. We're just sitting there having something to eat. We're putting up there. The rowdiness is down. Now the rowdiness is getting crazy because pitchers of beer are coming. They have one pitcher after another. Boom, boom, boom. They got those big towers they're drinking.
Oh, yeah.
So they're starting to get a little crazy in the place. Harold Carmichael happens to have a table also in the same area as me with somebody. So they start throwing ice and stuff at each other at this table.
These are your Bristol friends.
No. This is the other people. Well, I'm with my Bristol friends.
Oh, they're not throwing ice at
No, it's the other. Do you not get the story? There's a rowdy table I'm talking about.
I thought you were referring to your Bristol friends as being rowdy.
I'm not throwing ice. They start throwing ice at each other, the beer drinkers.
Gotcha.
And they're throwing cups and stuff. And it's, it's getting to, stuff's coming across our table. It comes on the floor near Harold, the whole bit. So our waiter comes over to give us a check. And I go, listen, and I knew the guy. I go, listen, you might want to, these guys might be causing a little trouble. So they see what's going on with that table, and to get him to leave. So 5 minutes later, guy taps me on the shoulder, and he says, "Hey, were you the guy that told on us?" And I just
wait a second. The guy said, "Are you the one who told on us?" And then you just started throwing punches?
You the one that got he said something, and I just like, no, I'm not in the mood right now, dude. Not in the mood.
Wait,
it was just me and my other buddy there. My other buddy had gone to the bathroom.
Were you Mike Missanelli at this point?
I was. I don't know if I was a writer at the time or whether I just started Sports Talk Radio. I got written about the next day.
Gotcha.
In Stu Bykowski's column.
Oh, I know,
right?
Stu.
You remember that back in the day?
Yeah.
So anyway, I just start hitting the guy. Boom, boom, boom. His friends come in and pull him out, and they apologize to me. They go, he's been crazy all day. We're sorry, blah, 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 blah. So Harold says to me, "Yo, Mike, at least you could have taken your glasses off." That's my Harold Carmichael. I had my glasses on. My glasses were on. I just got up and I just lost my mind on the guy.
I'm trying to find an article on this. I want to read this story. So wait, how did the fight end?
The guy was on the ground. His friends came up, grabbed him, and pulled him out.
That was it. It didn't turn into a big scrum.
No.
You're lucky. You didn't cause a massive brawl.
No, it's just the guy, wanted a little peace.
See? And Harold Carmichael, I told you, what a gentleman.
He was. He goes, Mike, Mike, at least you could have taken your glasses off. Well.
I think Mike had a little bit of a temper back in the day.
You get into this where you're just not in the mood for any. I'm just sitting there having a nice time with my buddies. We're hanging out. We're peaceful, and then somebody wants to cause trouble.
I hear you. Ray's usually causing trouble.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Anyway, it's like I grabbed the guy's hockey jersey and started wailing.
So I tried to Google it to find.
Yeah.
But you know what came up?
What?
Radio tough guy Mike Missanelli gets warm and fuzzy with Philly feud.
And
it's a whole article about you being a game show host.
How about that? The show that you never saw. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Head to the contest page at 975.
41. Well, we always pick up some little tidbits on the draft, the little angles on what's going on, little trends that happen with players. And it's interesting that maybe NIL money has shaped the way professional teams draft players. Bill, you want to get into that conversation? It was a conversation between people who write about the league and talk about the league.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty interesting. So Jay Glazer tweeted out, I think this was yesterday, and Mike Florio picked it up and wrote a story about it too. And Glazer's tweet was essentially, for years going into the draft, teams would pull players off their board for two reasons: injury concerns and character concerns. But this year, they're adding a third category: doesn't love football. And Glazer said this is the first year it's been so prevalent. And when he's asked around, it's because teams are saying NIL money has changed things where guys have already been paid. They've already made their money. They don't feel the need to necessarily put in the grind and the work. And if they don't love football, they may not pan out in the NFL. So it's an interesting thing. How do you determine whether a guy loves football?
So there's no longer the big carrot because they've gotten paid the partial carrot.
Correct. So now it's just a matter of, like, look at Jalen Hurts, right? He gets his $255 million contract 2 years ago. He's right back to work. He wins the Super Bowl this past season, MVP, getting all types of endorsement deals. We already are hearing back to work because he loves ball. You hear Sirianni talk about that a lot too. I want guys who love ball.
Yeah.
But there's certain guys. There's certain guys where, you get your bag. You know what comes to mind as soon as I'm thinking about it? Albert Hainsworth. Remember when he got all that money? He was never the same player. He didn't care.
Yeah, so you're saying in the NFL, when you get a lot of money, you stop playing. I don't know if that's necessarily true. But this new trend is that you get the money in college, and football then becomes just a way to make money. And so you know you're going to make money at the next level, but you don't dare to be great.
Correct. I think that's what teams are concerned about, and that's one of the categories now on the draft board is doesn't love football.
Well, how do you know that a guy doesn't love football, Ray? How would you figure that out?
That's what I'm trying to figure out back here right now. Like, what assessment do you put them through?
What do you do? You ask them? Everyone you ask says, oh, I love football. Right? So how
do you test the genuine nature of it? I guess that's a conversation outside of that player.
What do you do? Psychologically try to figure out the answer to that question?
Look,
lie detector test.
I would think when you interview these guys.
See, Ray, I just gave you a chuckle.
Thank you.
I just gave you a chuckle. That wasn't even that funny. But to make you feel better, I went.
So wait. To be clear,
I gave you a McCarthy.
He faked
that wasn't funny.
No,
but I gave you a chuckle. So you're supposed to feel better now? You just told me it wasn't funny. Now I feel terrible.
It was mildly amusing, but I say, I don't make him feel better if I go, ha, ha, ha. And so I gave you a ha, 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 ha.
And now I feel worse.
That's what I'm asking for you guys.
He wants us to fake it, right? But listen.
No, I didn't fake it. It was semi-funny what Ray said.
I would think that if you interview a guy, there's ways for you to be able to read the answers to determine whether or not this is someone who truly
do it. Let's do it. Go ahead. You're a lawyer. You're interviewing a client. Now you're probably a person. Now you want to try to find out if a guy loves football. What are you asking?
All right. So how about not this season because you're probably getting ready for the combine. Last year, when the football season ended, what'd you do in the offseason?
He says I worked out constantly.
All right, where? What did you do? Who'd you work out with?
This gym over here.
What if you get a guy that says, oh, well, I flew to Arizona and I was running routes with A.J. Brown and
loves football.
Tyreek Hill. I wanted to figure out, what I could do different. That type of stuff, I think would show.
But then you got to check into that, whether he's lying or not.
Yeah, and you got to do your homework, man. This is why Big Dom comes into play.
See, that's why a player can play you. He can create a ruse to make you think that he loves football when he can't, because these kids are smart enough to do something like that.
So Mike Florio puts an analogy in this article that's going to resonate with Philadelphia fans. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
He says
Jalen Hurts worked out
after
his wedding.
Even better. More Philly than that.
Uh-huh.
Florio says it's basically the difference between Rocky in Rocky 2 and Rocky in Rocky 3. He went from poor and desperate in 2 to rich and satisfied in 3. So basically, this is my words, not Florio's, they need that eye of the tiger. It's the eye of the tiger. It's the... Come on, right? No chuckle.
How about this question?
No chuckle.
How about this question? do you watch football on television?
To see whether or not they love football.
Oh, just a quick thing. Do you watch football on television? How much football do you watch on television? Do you watch other college games? Do you watch professional games every Sunday? I don't know. I kind of like to just concentrate on my own little thing. Well, that guy doesn't love football. Yeah. Because if you really love football, you'll be watching as much football as you can. For instance, if you're a talk show host, you'll be watching a lot of college football, right? Am I right?
You're going to walk me into a trap to say that Bill not watching college football is a problem.
Did I say that? I didn't say that. I was just asking you a hypothetical.
I'm not going to step into that trap.
All right.
You watch football, Ray?
I do, actually.
Look, like JM in our YouTube chat gives a good example. Like Jaden Daniels coming into the draft last year, we heard he uses virtual reality to improve his field vision. Like, I think things like that, it's not only your love of ball, but maybe your love to improve yourself too. Okay. And Mike, just because you like watching football, like I'm going to say something that's maybe a little bit crazy here. You know, I played football, but I actually prefer watching football than I did playing football. Like football to me was not that much fun to play.
Well, it's fun for these guys because they're making money and they're in a big time program.
But it is
so it's got to be fun for them.
But you think about playing the sport of football. It was the only sport where practice always sucked.
Yeah,
like
it's terrible.
Terrible, man. There's nothing fun about football practice.
Nothing worse.
Having to hit somebody every single practice, every single play. Yeah, it's not fun. Maybe it's fun when you start camp and you hit for the first time and you put your pads on. It's exciting. Imagine doing it on a random December Wednesday.
Right. You're right.
Sucks.
You're absolutely right. Let's take a break. On the other side, we got Glenn from Wallingford wants to talk about the Eagles draft. Plenty more. We got the news at noon that's coming up in about 12 minutes. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Happy draft day. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Tonight in Green Bay, the first round of the NFL draft will kick off at 8 o'clock. The Eagles have the 32nd pick of the draft, so we're in for a long night in Philadelphia. One player that has been mocked to the birds consistently is Ole Miss defensive tackle Walter Nolan, but when ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, he threw cold water on the idea of Nolan being available at 32.
Philadelphia got lucky on Jalen Carter. It's not going to get lucky on Walter Nolan like that, okay? I don't think he's falling to 32. I would expect that he's gone somewhere in the teens would be my guess.
Tonight from 6 to midnight, our own Andrew DeCecco, Bill Colarulo, and Tyrone Johnson will be at Randall's at the Legacy Club. They will be live reacting to the first round of the NFL draft and, of course, getting you the reaction to the Birds pick at 32. This draft could take your mind off the Phillies, who were swept by the Mets this week following a 4-3 loss up in New York in 10 innings yesterday afternoon. The offense only pushed across one run in the top of the 10th, and Jordan Romano blew another save en route to the loss. Phillies now 13-12, have a day off before they start a 3-game set in Chicago against the Cubs this weekend. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching, the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the best 2025 Birds draft coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
But you got to hang in there because there might be a trade where they pick a little sooner. Or if they trade back and you stay up till midnight, you're screwed. Right?
But I do think, and maybe you could weigh in on the text board with this. I think there are a lot of people, and I'm one of them, who just love the NFL draft. Like, even if the Eagles did not have a pick tonight, I would stay up and I would watch the entire thing. Like, I just love the whole thing about the NFL draft. I think the NFL does it the best. It's certainly, I mean, look, baseball, there's so many damn rounds. And hockey, you don't know who the players are. Basketball anymore, it's exciting maybe for the first few picks. But I just think the NFL draft is awesome to watch, man. Like JM hits the nail on the head, too, in the YouTube chat. This just has great storylines. There's so many great storylines watching the NFL draft. But are you going to be upset if you stay up tonight and they trade out, Mike?
I doubt if I'm staying up that late for the pick, to be honest with you. That's one of those deals where I get up in the morning. Oh, they got this guy.
Oh, man. Ray, will you stay awake tonight?
Yeah, I will. If I could stay up last night for Brewers-Giants, I think I should stay up for the NFL draft.
Who won that game?
The Giants did. Nearly blew it. Little shaky there. Duvall closed it out, though.
I watched the Phillies again last night.
Wait, you rewatched the game?
Yeah, I rewatched the game.
So I don't know if you saw what I did, because you and I walked out to the parking lot yesterday. I put my stuff in the car.
Did you have manure in there?
No.
Okay.
And I got YouTube TV, so I put the game on my phone.
Yeah.
And then I went for a nice walk. I walked to City Line Ave as I'm watching, sat at Honeygrow, walked to Starbucks. I just stayed around here watching the game on the phone, enjoying my my leisurely walk before I went home.
Okay.
But you decided to watch it last night.
Watched it again last night, yeah. I wanted to see. The beauty part of the NBC Sports Philly at night is that they rush ahead certain innings. So
okay.
They eliminate the innings that are ridiculous to watch again. All right, and then they get to the drama. So I was able to see the end part of that game again. They got frustrated all over again. When they scored in the 10th, I know what the result is. I'm going, maybe they can hang on and win. All right, let's go to the phones. We'll talk to Glenn in Wallingford. Glenn, what's happening today?
What's going on, boys?
How are you?
Love it. Love the draft talk. So, real quick, before I get to my draft opinion, you guys left off the best tight end in Eagles history off both your teams, which is Keith Jackson.
Yeah, we talked about him. I probably screwed up by taking Goddard over Keith Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, he was, that type of tight end before it was in vogue.
Yeah, he was a deep threat. He was a deep threat tight end. What a great blocker, though.
Yeah, we don't need him to block.
I don't know.
Right?
Goddard will stick you and catch balls.
Yeah,
you have to look at the production. Look at the production of Goddard and go ahead. Go ahead. Sir.
I was going to say when it comes to this particular draft, I mean, this defense has got to be the first and foremost, right? Like I kind of like the D tackle at that point, Grant from Michigan. I like Malachi Starks if he's available, safety at that around if he's available, or But I tell you what, the one guy I've seen in different mocks, if he's available, I almost find it kind of hard to pass on him. I mean, is that Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State? I mean, if you get another guy like that, another wide receiver, I mean.
Yeah. I actually like that because, Bill, they declined the option on Dotson.
Yeah, they did. They just declined yesterday or the day before the fifth-year option on Dotson, so he's entering the final year of his deal.
Not bad. I like Egbuka a lot.
I would be pretty upset if they go wide receiver in the first round, though. I would be upset if they go
Ohio State wide receivers are money, man. They really are. You can't go wrong with an Ohio State wide receiver.
I just think
he's
Go ahead.
He's not like top 20 type of pick either, Bill. You know what I mean? He's 32. So at that point, I think you are kind of going best available player, and he's just such a smooth route runner. I mean, he's really good. And like Mike said, these Ohio State wide receivers anymore are
coached.
Really,
they are coached very well. They come in with pedigrees and then they're coached to a pro level.
Absolutely. So, but it's going to be tough staying away. I like even like last night. I was watching. I was watching more NHL and a little bit of the NBA last night. So I'll probably be mostly in on that before the Eagles get to their picks. And plus, there's some intrigue, to see where like a guy like Shador Sanders goes. and some of these other, some of these early picks, I guess, in between before we get to the Eagles. So there'll be plenty of stuff to watch tonight.
Absolutely. All right, Glenn, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Yeah, speaking of the NBA and the NBA playoffs, a really interesting poll came out with The Athletic on who the most overrated player is and down the line, a lot of different categories that we'll go over a little later in the show. Do you think that that NBA players really participate in this?
It says they are.
It says it, but do you actually think they got that many players? The way I look at NBA players, it's a bother for them to do anything. They're going to sit there and they're going to do a survey.
It says they spoke with 158 players.
I know. That's what it says.
But you think they just, boom, boom, boom.
They really take the time to think about it? Maybe, because some of the results are really interesting. And the Sixers are on a couple lists.
Yeah, they are.
So we'll get to that in a second. You are listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, and we're broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. I think it's time for something really special, Ray. Can I hear the little theme?
The Fanatic signing bonus.
That cash register from Pink Floyd, Money. Money! It's a gas.
I like that song.
What, you didn't want to sing it?
No.
He was winding up to sing it. I saw him start to wind up to sing.
I was about to. I just felt bad because MBD in the chat said every time I sing, a little part of him dies.
See,
now you're feeling bad for singing?
See, MBD doesn't just rip you, Ray.
Wow. It's all love.
Time for the Fanatic signing bonus. It's your chance to win $1,000. Contest keyword right now is coupon, or as most people mispronounce it, coupon. COUPON. You have until 25 minutes after the hour to enter it on the Fanatic mobile app or on 975thefanatic.com or text it to the special contest short code 45911. Again, it's coupon, COUPON. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Each winner will get a call from Beasley. Be sure to answer your phone. Contest rules at 975thefanatic.com. The Fanatic signing bonus is sponsored by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted best casino in PA by Casino Player Magazine. 5 chances to win each weekday, 8 and 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 and 5 p.m. Good luck to you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy lunchtime. And to enjoy your lunch, let's have an edition of the News at Noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Oh, it's time for Ray Dunn and the News at Noon. 3 stories that he's plucked out of the atmosphere for your perusal and entertainment. Ray, what do we have for today?
All right, it's draft day. We're going to start with the Howie Roseman story.
Awesome.
The Eagles have been doing these in-house Q&As with a number of different people in the organization. The fans submit a question, they give the answer, or they throw away the question. That was a big Fangio thing. He threw away a lot of questions when they did the Q&A. Howie also threw out some questions here. But Howie Roseman was asked how he's going to pass the time from pick 1 to pick 32 on draft night. And instead of answering the question, he gave a story of a time that he was walking out of the draft room to avoid being over-aggressive and making a trade. Take a listen.
How we passed the time waiting for the 32nd pick. You know, there was one time that we didn't have a pick in a round, and I was so worried that I was going to trade future picks that I just started walking laps around the field, and I just told the guys when it got like 10 picks before us to let me know so I wouldn't trade anything.
Did you still have your phone on you, though?
I did. Cheated.
Oh.
Believe it or not.
Amusing little story. I like the way he says, guys.
Yeah.
That's football tough. They go, guys. If you're in the football world, you got to go, guys.
Yeah, I love Howie. I'm calling BS on that story. There's no way the general manager of any NFL football team's like, you know what? I'm so afraid I'm going to trade. I'm leaving.
No walk laps.
No.
No?
No, you're not doing that. Because what if the phone rings?
You calling him a fibber?
I just think it's a good story for Howie.
Is it kind of malpractice? If it's true, is it malpractice?
But that's why I don't believe.
Fake?
That's why I don't believe it. But I mean, he says he has his phone on him because at any time
he's down drifting into the area of trying to entertain people with fishtails.
What was it? That was on their social, Ray?
It was.
Yeah. So their social media. They're trying to be entertaining.
Yeah, you think when he came out of Florida, he was saying, guys?
Probably not.
Yeah, he's learned. That's football lingo, man.
So
hey, he's grown a lot, Howie.
To be fair to the story, I saw Zach Berman said that this was the 2013 6th round. That was when they didn't have the pick, that this was when this story happened.
Oh, wow. He documented exactly when it could have happened, Ray and Bill.
He picked a decent round not to be anywhere near the phone for. Rex Burkhead, Theo Riddick.
Rex Burkhead.
Rex Burkhead, did I in New England?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. These are the headliners. Latavius Murray actually was that round.
Oh.
So Dustin Hopkins.
Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah. Dustin Hoffman was drafted in the 6th round that year. It was a great year for him.
Talking about that 2013.
What's Dustin Hoffman's best movie?
Dustin Hoffman's best?
Yeah. What was it?
Rain Man.
Really?
Oh, he's pretty good, man.
How about the one he won did he win an Oscar for that divorce movie? What was that called?
That divorce movie.
Yeah, it was about a divorce with a kid, custody of a kid.
I don't remember.
Really? How about Midnight Cowboy?
Or The Graduate?
Or The Graduate. What was the divorce movie? Won an Oscar, I think.
Kramer vs. Kramer?
Yes, there it is. Kramer vs. Kramer. Was that on the chat?
Yeah, chat.
The chat revealed it.
Yeah, Jim G got it.
Are you going to take credit for that?
No, I wasn't going to take credit.
If you didn't ask, no one was going to get credit.
All right, let's get to story number 2.
All right, story number 2 here. It's Mel Kiper season. Mel Kiper joined Is This a Great Game or What with Tim and Jeff Kirchin talking about baseball, but also went into his obsession with pumpkin pie that borders on unhealthy, except he wants to keep it very healthy. This is right up Bill's alley.
I'd say 9 months out of the year, 8 months out of the year, pumpkin pie, not just in the morning. I'll go through a pumpkin pie in every day and a half.
Mel, what is wrong with you? Do you just love pumpkin pie, or is this just who you are when it comes to food?
Tim, it's even worse, Jeff and Tim. I don't eat the crust. I just eat the pumpkin. I have fat-free whipped cream. Say, well, what's the method to the madness? All the hydrogenated oils are in the crust. Okay? So I stay away from the crust. Don't touch the crust. Just eat the filling. And then I have my fat-free ready whipped cream and glass of fat-free milk. And that's what I do. That's how I get by.
How do you assess his health there, Bill?
Not good. Not good.
You know, pumpkin seeds are a good source of protein, fiber, and healthy fats. So maybe the pumpkin is.
See, Mel Kiper, though, I think he's a little misinformed. He's so focused on everything being fat-free that he's ignoring probably the amount of sugar he's putting into his body.
Well, pumpkin pie does have a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar. And the fat-free whipped cream still has sugar.
Are you a fan of the pumpkin pie?
I do like the pumpkin pie in the
I'm a
fall.
fan as well.
In the fall. I like it around Thanksgiving and all that. I'm not going to...
I'm big. It's got to have a little spicier to it, though.
You like that?
Yeah, like a little spicier pumpkin pie.
What's your go-to pie?
Cherry.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm a big cherry pie man.
I think you can't go wrong with like a nice apple pie that has like the crumb.
Apple pie's boring.
Crumb topping, and then you heat it up. You throw a little vanilla ice cream on top.
Apple pie's boring. I go cherry, blueberry, pumpkin.
There's another one I love. Banana cream pie. Oh, love a banana cream pie. With a graham cracker crust, Ray. The graham cracker crust?
That's too eggy.
Oh.
Too eggy and custardy. Oof.
I'm getting hungry.
Woof. How about coconut custard?
Can't do coconut, man. Don't like the texture. You got to chew coconut too much. You get stuck in your teeth.
It's supposed to be good for you, coconut?
Not a fan.
Not a fan, huh? All right.
Give me the key line and we'll move on here. Finally, most quotable coach in the NBA, Joe Mazzulla, asked last night about Kristaps Porzingis. I assume you both saw the image of this last night. Porzingis bleeding from his head during the game.
He was busted open.
Came back into the game.
And I saw what Mazzulla said, too.
Well, if you saw it, I get a chance to listen to it, Bill. Here you go. Your third story on News at Noon.
He can maintain his poise, and he just has a great way about him. And I think that helps us. And I do. I love watching him. I like watching him bleed on the court. I think it's important. And then he comes back in and does his job. So I do like that about him.
I like watching him bleed on the court.
Joe Mazzulla
it's important.
is such a weirdo, man. He is a very strange man. And he'll say that without thinking that may have been funny to people by saying that. Like, he just says that. That's him. That's Joe Mazzulla.
Outside of being jealous of, the success that the Celtics have had, I'm jealous of them having him as the coach. Because for us, the content of having Missoula quotes day in and day out would be tremendous.
I don't know. Would you have more Missoula drops or Sirianni drops?
More Missoula.
I think you would.
For sure. I would have I'd ask them to build a third board for me in here that was just Missoula drops.
You probably would. Now, Porzingis, though, he could have wiped off some of the blood. Like, I thought that was, they're playing it up a little bit. He could have wiped his face.
Of course, you found a problem with it.
You didn't see, did you see it?
The last Sixer player that bled for you.
What I'm saying is,
give me anything.
Did they have to keep?
Start.
Did they have to keep the blood? It was theater.
He was busted open, McMahon.
Just wipe it off.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, he probably took out a little razor blade.
Ricky Patalco just walked by. Got a backwards hat on.
Yeah,
he made sure I saw it. Mike Missanelli show continues.
Now, an NFL draft prospect analysis.
TikTok. Mike Missanelli Show. I just found out, very interesting, you know who follows me on Twitter? Eric Trump.
With all the people you have blocked, he's not one of them?
I don't normally see his tweets, but apparently he follows me. Listen, even the president's son can reap wisdom. You know?
Yeah, that's a surprise.
I'm a really good follow for people who need to be educated in certain matters.
For people who need to be educated. Ray and I are good follows, too, for anyone who wants to give us a follow. We're trying to build up our Twitter following.
Oh, in any event, the 12 o'clock hour is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. All right. The Fanatic Deal of the Week. You want to know what it is? You know, we told you yesterday. Little Billy used to run around this place.
Yes, little Clementon Park action.
Little Mr. Jersey. The Clementon Park, 2 tickets for the price of 1 at Clementon Park. Dive into summer thrills with full-day access to Clementon Park's amusement park and Splash World Water Park. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com. All right, this is the offbeat story of the day.
Oh, boy.
Since we just had the news at noon, it's an offbeat story. I like to attach to the news at noon.
And this is like offbeat. This is really off.
I've never been waxed. Have you ever been waxed?
Thankfully not.
Right?
I'm not going to pay for parking at Citizens Bank Park. You think I'm paying for a wax job?
All right, so there are places that guys go to get waxed, especially for their back. So if you go in with a really hairy back, should you be charged extra? I'm talking about Mekong forest hair. You know what I'm saying?
So the reason I would say no is my understanding is they just layer the wax, right? And then it dries, and then you just rip it off, right?
Yes.
So it shouldn't matter the amount of hair. It's the same amount of work.
No, it's not the same amount of work. You got to put more wax on certain areas. It's extra pull and extra, you know, if you
guess.
You know? If you go in there looking like an orangutan, that's a lot of work, right? You know, if I had hair on my back, I'd definitely get waxed. There's nothing more unsightly than that, right?
I probably would too.
You see guys on the beach walk around like they're wearing a sweater,
and then it goes into the shoulder.
On the shoulders, on the top of the shoulders.
Yeah, that's the one.
You get that. It's usually just white people, right?
Right.
I've never seen a black dude with a hairy back.
I don't know if that's true.
I'm telling you. I
don't know if that's true. I mean, look,
black don't crack.
I've played sports with a lot of different nationalities. I've seen back hair on black men.
I haven't. Well, anyway, there's a story where a woman goes in for a Brazilian, her first Brazilian. After it's done, she gets a message from the waxer who says, just so you know, in the future, I'll have to charge you a little more for the size of the area. I hope that makes sense. Nothing crazy. It's like $5 or $10 extra. Now, is that a violation?
What type of waxing?
Brazilian.
Okay. They should be able to charge a lot more then. Well, and she's not saying the amount of hair. She's saying the size of the area.
Here's the way I look at it. Have you ever cleaned prior to your cleaning person coming over?
I just got a text from the wife. Conversation inappropriate.
Well, no. Listen to me. Have you not, like, your cleaning ladies come, like my cleaning lady came over yesterday. I find myself cleaning.
You tidy up first.
I tidy up.
Yeah, we do the same thing.
I do the dishes. So isn't it the same principle? Don't you have to tidy up before you go to the wax museum?
I don't know if Ray's spoken enough today. I'm going to turn this one over to him. Ray, you want to weigh in on this conversation?
I would say no.
No, I'm serious. Isn't it a matter of courtesy? Oh, man. We're trying to solve world problems here.
Look, neither one of
the extra waxer goes, whoa, Baron.
So, I've never had a Brazilian wax, so it's hard for me
I've never had it either, but
to weigh in.
Ladies get them all the time. And I just wonder whether ladies tidy up before they do it, just like a cleaning person would tidy up. But the same goes for the back. Like,
but what would you do if you had a hairy back, right? And you went to get waxed? How would you tidy it up before you went?
You know what? You're right. It's impossible. You couldn't put your arms backwards and tidy up before you actually get it. So in that way, I think that man should definitely charge more. So why wouldn't a woman?
It sounds like they do charge more, according to that article.
It's just this one person. But the woman who got waxed was livid. This is why it became a story. She outed the waxing parlor as very inappropriate.
Well, it sounds to me that it was inappropriate because they're talking about the size of the area. Like it was like an insult.
Yeah, in other words, you had to do extra. But I put extra wax strips in there.
I don't know, man. I think I'm going down a rabbit hole here.
No, seriously.
Someone in the YouTube chat said manure talk and now waxing talk.
I told you it was the offbeat story of the day. I teased it as the offbeat story of the day. Has nothing to do with the NFL draft. I know that, but it's just a little. It's a fun story It's almost like a little barroom conversation, right? You and your friends would have this conversation in a bar.
Ray's hitting the commercial music.
I don't think we would. I just wonder what publication this story was in.
It was what was it, the New York Post?
The New York Post.
Okay, that checks out.
Yeah.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
It's draft day. I'm Ray done with this Fanatic Sports Update tonight in Green Bay. The first round of the NFL draft will kick off at 8. The Eagles have the 32nd pick of the draft, so we're in for a long night here in Philadelphia. One player that's been mocked to the birds consistently is Ole Miss defensive tackle Walter Nolan, but when ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, he threw cold water on the idea of Nolan being available at 32.
Philadelphia got lucky on Jalen Carter. It's not going to get lucky on Walter Nolan like that, okay? I don't think he's falling to 32. I would expect that he's gone somewhere in the teens would be my guess.
You'll be able to find out tonight. And tonight from 6 to midnight, our own Andrew DeCecco, Bill Colarulo, and Tyrone Johnson will be at Randall's at the Legacy Club reacting to the first round of the NFL draft. Of course, they'll be live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic for you to tune in throughout that time. The draft could take your mind off the Phillies, who were swept by the Mets this week following a 4-3 loss to New York in 10 innings. The offense only pushed across one run in the top of the 10th. Jordan Romano blew another save en route to the loss. Phillies now 13-12, have a day off today before they start a 3-game set in Chicago tomorrow against the Cubs. This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn on the home for your best Birds 2025 draft coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Much suspense, but we will keep abreast of what's going on around the league and have any kind of reports for you as far as trades and such go or rumors, so stay tuned for that. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. 12 o'clock hour brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48-month rebates and tax credits of $4,300 when you purchase a heating and cooling system. You can learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right, we started the show with the Phillies. Their offensive woes continued against the Mets. The big bats in this series were 5 for 46. They hit 109. And more, it's looking like the same old, that this team can absolutely collapse offensively, and it doesn't matter how good their pitching is. And when they hit, their pitching lets them down. And yesterday's game was just a weird game where they time and time came up with situations and just did not get it done. And we got Rob Thompson saying, I want to hear what Rob Thompson said, right? Could we play Rob Thompson 6? Because I can't believe he said this.
Yeah, it's just it's the randomness of the game. It really is. I mean, we're not going to tell guys to start swinging uphill. Right. Yeah, it's you hit a ball hard, you hit a ball hard. It's like I was talking about prior to the game, the runners in scoring position number, it's skewed at some point because you take the inning where we got a runner at second base, Wilson hits a bullet to the third baseman, right? That's all he can do. Trey comes up later, he hits a bullet to the shortstop. That's all he can do. And so you're 0 for 2 in that situation. Well, I mean, they hit the ball hard. That's what I'm looking for.
What do you mean it's all he can do? Like, I don't get that comment. It's all he can do. There's a lot more you can do. You can hit in open spaces. You can hit fly balls and get guys in. You can drive the ball somewhere. It's not all they can do. And runners in scoring position, to some extent, is random. But to the other extent, it's a plan in your head on what you want to do at that at-bat. When guys are in scoring position, you got to think your way through an at-bat every now and then. Now, we look at this game yesterday. Bases loaded in the second inning. 1 out. You're a quality team. You're supposed to be a contending team. You need to score at least a run there. Well, what happened was Rojas flies out. Turner grounds out. 1 out. You gotta plate that run at third. You would like to have a big inning with the bases loaded. The very least, you got to score that run from third with 1 out. Well, they don't do that. In the fourth inning, Rojas gets an RBI single. Okay, Turner gets an RBI single. There's 2 on. You want to add on? You got your big hitter up. Harper grounds out. We go to the 8th inning. 2 on. Kepler singles. All right, Castellanos thrown out at the plate. And they don't challenge it, which is another matter altogether. And then we get to the 10th inning. Castellanos singles with the infield in after Harper stole third. Great move by Harper. Pitcher not paying attention. You steal third on him. Infield's in. Ground ball gets through. You take a 3-2 lead. But then JT walks. Bohm singles. Bases loaded with 1 out. Bill, what happens? Stott, fly ball not deep enough to score the run. Kepler, third out, fly ball to right field. You can't have it.
You can't. And I'm looking at the Philadelphia Phillies numbers this season with the bases loaded. You ready for this? Bases loaded, your fighting Phils are hitting 154. That's 24th in the major leagues, but even worse, they have the 3rd most strikeouts with the bases loaded. You can't strike out with the bases loaded. You got to put the ball in play.
To the same old problems with the lineup.
It's the same
that was supposed to change. And everybody will fire the hitting coach. Well, listen, I don't know what more can a hitting coach do. As I've told you before, pitching coaches, hitting coaches, semi-irrelevant.
Well, let's play this out for a second, though, because and I'm agreeing with you that I think this is more on the players, but if it's not Rob Thompson and it's not Kevin Long, what are they supposed to do differently? Because you look at this lineup, you couldn't make drastic changes this summer. We know they tried. They tried to trade Alec Bohm. Every year it seems Castellanos is rumored to be on the trading block. What could they have done?
They're going to have to make a move, I think. I I don't know what it could be, but they're going to have to make some kind of a trade that stirs the pot a little bit. And I know that the general manager is saying, well, it's April, and our club's a good club, and we haven't even played in warm weather yet, and all these excuses that they make. He can't be foolish enough to think that they don't need a mix-up here.
But what would that look like? Are you getting rid of one of your starting pitchers?
I don't. They get paid to do that.
Yeah.
They get paid to do it. Maybe they have to get rid of a starting pitcher. You got another one coming back in. Maybe you got a surplus. Maybe you can make a move that way. Maybe you can trade Ranger Suarez.
Well, yeah, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. I think Suarez is going to have to come back. He's going to have to show that he's healthy. He's going to have to show that he's a starting pitcher. I know there are some who have floated the idea of putting him right in the pen. One, I don't think Ranger's going to want to do that. I don't think Scott Boras is going to want Ranger to do that because he's in the final year of his deal. And if you want to get any trade value for him, then I think you got to show he's still a starting pitcher, don't you?
Yeah, there's no question. Scott Boras is calling Dombrowski. Hey, listen, man, don't pull any fast ones on me.
Like maybe
we've had good negotiations here.
If you don't trade Ranger, I could see them moving him to the pen in October, but not now. I mean, I think you're right. Boras is going to be in his ear. And Boras
and people go,
has a lot of
well,
power.
an agent should have it.
No, he's got a lot of power.
Because they compromise on other things, and they've had a good association with other players, so they don't want to mess that up for the future.
But we touched on this a little bit yesterday. Dombrowski's history of making trades doesn't necessarily instill a lot of confidence in me. Like, does that make you feel good? Like, when you're saying they're going to shake it up, he's paid to figure this out.
Listen, your next trade, it can always make you a hero.
That's true.
If it's savvy enough.
Look, the Luzardo trade was good.
Yeah, I don't go by track record that he's not going to be able to improve this team. I think that deep inside, I think they are panicking, even though John Kruk says it's not time to panic. I think deep inside they go, I think we got a problem here. This seems like the same old, same old. Like Mike was saying on the radio the other day, I think we're a little stale.
Little bleach.
I'm pretty sure they've had that conversation where they brought me up saying that I think it's stale.
I think they definitely did. I think if we could have a little bug on the wall at Citizens Bank, you would hear Rob Thompson on the phone with Dombrowski. Said, did you hear what Mike Missanelli said?
Exactly.
Dombrowski, I definitely did.
Now, do we have DJ Gabriel ready or not? We do.
You got the Phillies one ready?
So here's the thing.
No, he's got the other one. He's got the draft one. Right?
Oh, you don't have the Phillies one?
I got to get you the Phillies one.
Oh, you haven't gotten him to
No.
yet?
We'll play this one coming up late after the break because he goes off on the Phillies too, which is hilarious.
And the idea behind this is that since we've taken very few calls recently, and again, next week I've been told by sources that the phone system will be installed by next week. So in that case, we're going to celebrate with an all-calls day. But we've taken sporadic calls here because it has been tough for other people to get in. So our number is 610-632-0975. So because we have had just a few calls, we're going to include as one of our calls the guy known as DJ Gabriel.
Yes, who is the prototypical angry sports talk caller.
Exactly. He's kind of a parody on an angry sports caller, but he's really not a parody.
Not with this, too, because when you hear him on the Phillies, it's pretty spot on.
Yes.
So that'll come up next. I just sent it to Ray, so he'll pull it during the break.
Meanwhile, the NFL draft is going on. Well, we still don't know what's going to happen, whether they're going to stay there, whether they're going to move up. The intrigue of watching the draft is to see if they move up while you're watching it, right? Or you're going to have to wait till midnight.
You never know, man. I mean, some of the trades, we weren't anticipating them necessarily. Like on draft night when they make the trade for A.J. Brown, that kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, now is there word coming down, Bill, through the channels that the Eagles are poised to move way up?
Well, it's funny you say that. I was just in the hallway talking to Ricky Bowe, who's rocking the backwards hat.
Uh-huh, he is.
And somebody told him, a big-time Eagles reporter, said, I think they're moving way up in the draft. Now, I have not heard that from anybody else, but Ricky heard that, hey, yeah, they're moving way up. Reason I'm not buying that is when you say way up, you're talking about giving up like next year's first rounder to move. Like if you're trying to move from 32 into the top 15, you got to give up a first round draft pick.
Yeah, you probably do.
To move up a couple of spots, maybe you give up a second and a fourth, moves you up a couple spots.
All right.
But we'll see.
We'll see. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. We'll take your calls. We'll go to the text board after this.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Last week you said, are their teams scared?
Mikey missed working his way back in. It's draft day. Have you seen that movie, Mike? Draft Day with Kevin Costner?
That's a shorter break, by the way.
They're always short.
Yeah, I just had to go to the restroom, and usually I'm back in time. Yeah, I've seen the movie.
But you stopped to pick up some candy. I see you. That's what took a little longer.
It's like Elaine stopping for the Juji fruits.
Well, that's get stuck in your teeth, though. Did you like that movie, though, with Kevin Costner?
No.
So far-fetched, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. The only thing I liked about it was Jennifer Gardner.
You a Jennifer Gardner fan?
Big time.
What's her best movie?
The two underrated brunettes, Jennifer Gardner and Jennifer Connelly.
What is Jennifer Gardner? She ever do a good movie, though? What's her best movie?
Ever do a good movie?
I'm trying to think if she was in anything ever that was good. Freaky Friday?
Freaky Friday. I don't know what movie she was in.
She wasn't in Freaky Friday. I meant 13 going on 30. That's what I meant.
13. Oh, that's right. 13 going on 30.
Similar concept.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday was Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, I think.
That's correct. Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. Oh, Jennifer Gardner. She seems nice, though. Doesn't she do the whole,
She's a sweetheart.
Doesn't she do the whole farm
I did an
thing?
interview with her.
Why, was she one of the people who called into your contest?
No. Super Bowl. Live interview. Me and Jen.
Where was I?
To New York Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. It wasn't the Super Bowl we were just
The one in New York. Where I think Draft Day, she was promoting Draft Day, as a matter of fact, I think.
Gotcha.
That was, I had Aaron Paul.
Oh, from Breaking Bad.
Jesse Pinkman. Oh, yeah, all the celebs stopped by.
All of them stopped by.
The booth. We were on Radio Row then. Remember that? Remember Radio Row?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Never forget.
We were there this year.
Yeah, Jennifer Gardner, though, I don't know. Not a great actress.
Well, she's, she does that commercial. That was that Capital One commercial?
Capital One, yeah. Yeah, she's at the farm.
Right. She owns a farm.
Yeah, she's at the farm.
Yeah.
But Draft Day, kind of a ridiculous movie. Ray, did you think it was a ridiculous movie, too?
Ridiculous concept.
But it's like a must-watch, though.
Once, yeah. I mean, I've seen it, so that tells you where it falls on the echelon of must-watch movies for me. I watched it, so wow, this is ridiculous. Never watched it again.
The same with me.
I don't plan on doing it.
Now
I could not watch it a second time.
It's sad, too, because Vontae Mack is played by Chadwick Boseman, who passed away.
Yes.
It's a shame, man. He was a good actor, that kid.
All right. Do we have our man?
Yep.
All right. So, we just lamented about the Phillies, and so here is a fake caller. We'll call him, but he goes by DJ Gabe Real, and one time in his life I call him an idiot, and he sees that as a badge of honor. But so he does these little talk show caller spoofs, but this one rings pretty true. So here he is, DJ Gabe Real.
Yeah, John. Now you gonna start listening to me, or you gonna wait for another Choketober to realize this Phillies team stinks? They stink worse than the local 98 bathroom the day after the wing ball, John. It's an absolute disaster. Stop me if you've seen this episode before, John. Aaron Nola serving up melons like it's Produce Junction. Getting shelled over and over and over again. His ERA looks like my old lady's credit card statement, John. And I got news for you. Neither of them are coming down anytime soon. This team is looking for a place to die, John. Brandon Marsh, I wouldn't let him start on my son's Little League team, John. And do you know why? Because Jimmy O'Hara from Clifton would strike him out 10 times out of 10. I see better swings in trees, John. Then you're up 7 runs the other night. You figure, hey, throw anybody in there. Nobody's going to blow that lead. Romano says, hold my beer, John. 6 earned runs in an inning. When are we going to be done with this guy and send him back to Canada? And I'll tell you what, John, we should send him back to Canada and charge him tariffs. Because that's where I'm at today.
See, that's pure Delco, man. Know those Delco references. With a local 98 bathroom. What's that one?
Well,
after the wing bowl.
What he does on his Instagram videos is he puts like check marks when he hits things, and he'll put Delco reference, check.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Produce Junction one he puts up there. Although there's Produce Junction in Jersey, too.
Yeah, they're all over the place. There's one right around the corner here.
So good,
down
though.
Down the street.
So good. Nobody's going to blow that lead. Jordan Romano, hold my beer.
Or Jordan Romano. He deserved a better fate yesterday. He really did. I didn't think that he threw many bad pitches there. I can't believe Alonso hit that ball where he did.
I thought it was a good pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, it did catch the strike zone, but it was a good pitch. It was low outside. Mm-hmm. Alonso basically swung with one hand.
Yeah.
And put it in the gap.
Yeah. Now, we also have another recording, Bill, of a lady who listens to us.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I don't know, Ray, you dig that one out too? All right, this is, give me the backstory on this, Bill.
Oh, before I do, during that little clip that we just played of the caller, Ed Wright acknowledges in the YouTube chat that you gave the courtesy chuckle throughout. That's what you want us to do for you.
I always give the courtesy chuckle to you guys.
So you want us to do that.
It's a teammate thing. You're supporting your teammate by boosting his ego a little bit, even though something he said wasn't that funny.
Like that?
Now, don't make a
Is that too much, Ray?
If you make a mockery of it, it's a violation.
Is that too much of a chuckle?
Sounded great, Bill. Sounded good.
Now I'm giving it to you. The courtesy.
Thanks, man.
Hey.
Keep it up.
Keep it up, Ray. He's getting mad. He's getting mad. We did just hear that he knocked the guy out for basically saying, "Excuse me, sir."
I got the power to fire both your asses.
Mike did tell us a story earlier where a poor guy at the bar tapped him on the shoulder. "Excuse me, sir. Did you mention anything to the waiter?"
No, that's not what he did. He grabbed my shoulder.
Little nice, gentle tap.
Somebody grabs you from behind. What are you doing?
Yeah, you get your back up. If it was an aggressive grab.
It was an aggressive grab. Hey, grab and kind of turn me. And at that point, it's like, all right.
I don't know what it is, though. I've always tried to diffuse situations.
Well, you're more of a, you're less of a...
I always try to diffuse.
You're not a Sicilian.
You know what? As Sicilian as I am, I'm like half Sicilian.
Are you?
Yeah. I don't have the Sicilian temper.
I do.
Yeah. My grandfather did. No doubt about it.
Yeah. But only when it's an affront to me, like when I think it's an unreasonable affront.
I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Somebody called my grandmother the B word.
Uh-huh.
She told my grandfather.
Uh-huh.
He walked over to the car, knocked on the guy's window. The guy rolled down the window. He broke his nose. Said, "Never call my wife that again."
Oh, I admire that.
Yeah.
I am on now today. That's a litigious situation.
Oh, without a doubt, he would have got sued.
Yeah.
But my grandfather was like, "No questions asked." Oh, what did he say?
Uh-huh.
But I don't have that gene. I'm always more calm, cool, collected.
That's good for you. Who do you think had the most influence on that for you?
I don't know. Both my mom and my dad are like that. So.
And plus, you grew up in pristine Jersey.
Pristine.
And you went to a private school. All that stuff plays into. I'm on the streets.
I was on the mean streets of Bristol.
The mean streets, they're meaner than you might think, my friend. Right?
Are they mean?
Of course they are. You had to scrap you're scrapping all the time.
You played basketball in your bare feet on glass, I heard.
I didn't do that. I played on a basketball court that had uneven grass where I couldn't dribble.
Oh, you would play on grass. That's the worst.
Yeah.
The ball's a little flat.
My dad put a basketball court and a basketball net up in the backyard. Engineered beautifully, though. I got a welder to put the pipes. It was a hangover, the whole bit. However, no asphalt.
Just you and your brother?
My sister.
Oh, you have a sister.
Sister was a shooter. We were all shooters because that's what we did. Like we couldn't dribble. Like we had to work on our handle. We had to work on our handle elsewhere.
You and TJ McConnell, great jump shots.
No, TJ didn't have.
I know you hate.
TJ didn't have what I had.
You hated that TJ didn't have a jump shot. I can
stroke it, brother.
Oh, I know you can.
Oh, here we go.
I know he can,
That's
Ray.
another drop. That's another drop. 610-632-0975. On the other side, we'll play this lady who agrees with Bill and Ray that it's okay to take candy into a movie theater. We'll hear her after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
It's draft day. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Tonight in Green Bay, the first round of the NFL draft will kick off at 8 o'clock. The Eagles have the 32nd pick of the draft, so we are in for a long night here in Philadelphia. One player that has been mocked to the birds continuously is Ole Miss defensive tackle Walter Nolan, but when ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade and Salciunas yesterday, threw cold water on the idea of Nolan being available at 32.
Philadelphia got lucky on Jalen Carter. It's not going to get lucky on Walter Nolan like that, okay? I don't think he's falling to 32. I would expect that he's gone somewhere in the teens would be my guess.
One can hope, but tonight we'll find out. And tonight from 6 p.m. to midnight, our own Andrew DeCecco, Bill Colarulo, and Tyrone Johnson will be at Randall's at the Legacy Club reacting to the first round of the NFL Draft. You can, of course, listen to them live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The draft could take your mind off the Phillies, who were swept by the Mets this week following a 4-3 loss in 10 innings up in New York yesterday afternoon. The offense only pushed one run across the top of the 10th. Jordan blew another statement route to the loss. So the Phillies are now 13-12, have a day off before they start a 3-game set in Chicago against the Cubs tomorrow. This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Down, your home for the best Birds 2025 draft coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia.
Here we go. Oh, yeah, you got the NFL draft tonight. We're lamenting about the Phillies. Oh, it looks like the same old, same old. I feared it, Bill. I just feared it.
Yeah, you did say it.
A little drop-down year. I don't know why I feared it, but when you come back with the same old, and you try to climb a mountain and you get the one less step every year, when does it ever get better where you go 4 steps beyond?
It's just, I said this before the season started, it does depend on how you look at it, though. Did they really take a step back every year? They won more games 3 years in a row.
Well, playoffs indicate everything. So they went from the World Series to one notch down, losing in the NLCS,
and then the
to one notch down, losing in the first round of the Mets.
Yeah, so if you look at it with postseasons, yes, they took a step back.
So,
you look at it with regular season wins, they took steps forward.
Yeah, but that's not what counts. What counts is you getting over the top, and you went one less rung every single year. So what makes you think you can now leapfrog those runs? The only way you do it is you improve your team a little more significantly. They didn't. Listen, we knew prior to the season that their bullpen situation and their left field situation and maybe their center field situation was going to hold them back. Did they get any better?
No.
Maybe in the starting rotation they got better. They added another starting pitcher. Okay, I got it. And that's fine and dandy. But starting pitchers don't go 9 innings.
The starting rotation definitely got better with Luzardo. I mean, there's no doubt. But the bullpen definitely got worse.
You desperately need a bullpen to finish games these days.
And
starters don't finish games for you.
And they don't have the right arm that you can trust in the pen at all. Because you don't trust Kirkring anymore.
No. And he looks, listen, he looks like he's got a bad face right now. Well, you look at him, he's like, his eyes are like, yeah, he looks
no confidence.
Right. He's lacking confidence.
Yeah, he has no confidence. Look, the Max Kepler signing in left field, we all were worried about it being another left-handed bat.
You thought it was going to be a good signing.
I know. He had a good spring. He had a good spring, but
he hits the ball hard. He just doesn't hit it enough.
But I would say, and I think you just did a video about this, but I would say when you look at what this team's issues are, as glaring as center field and left field were maybe coming in, that's not even the biggest issue you have right now. Right? It's the bullpen.
The bullpen is the biggest issue. There is no question in my mind that Dave Dombrowski, he can't be thinking they're going to be okay. I heard him the other day. He says, well, we just have to pitch better. Well, no. If guys are what they are, what do you expect that they're going to do? They're going to pitch better all of a sudden? That doesn't make any sense to me. These explanations that we're getting from management types are not satisfactory answers.
Yeah, I just don't know if they know what to say right now. Like, what would be – I know a lot of people were upset. We played it. Rob Thompson saying it was random. The things that are happening are random. Dombrowski saying, oh, well, we haven't gotten the warm weather yet. But what are they supposed to say? You're not going to be able to make drastic changes to this team right now.
Why not?
What are you going to do?
Why can't
who's trading away bullpen arm now?
We're talking about this Hall of Fame executive. Let's figure something out. But you can get bullpen pieces any way you want.
But don't teams need to see how their seasons progress before they become sellers? Like, who are you going to be able to get to sell right now?
You're right. Maybe they need a little more time. But you can't. You have to be posturing for this. You know what I mean? And I'm sure he is. I'm sure he and his 7 assistants are posturing to get somebody.
There's no way that Dombrowski is looking at this team and saying, we're not going to do anything. I just think we have to try to be patient. I just don't have the confidence that he's going to go out and hit a home run before the trade deadline that's going to fix everything.
It's very frustrating to hear people say nothing's wrong because you can see it. Philly fans are smart fans. They really are. They see what's wrong. They're not going to be conned into saying, well, it's only April or the weather hasn't been warm enough. You can't con fans by saying that.
Looked warm enough for Francisco Lindor.
It seems to be warm enough in cold weather for a lot of teams that have beaten the Phillies.
Dude, seeing how good Lindor is, though, and we saw it last year, too, and then you compare it to what you're getting from Trey Turner and what you're paying Trey Turner, this is why I know you go back and say, but at the time it was the right signing. It's just a terrible signing by Dombrowski.
Well, what else were you supposed to do, though? I mean, was it not the marquee signing of the offseason?
It
You know,
was,
it's
but does
like-
that make it forgivable for the general manager?
Yeah, because at the time you're grabbing a guy that's a marquee free agent that's going to help you. I mean, the guy came off a really good year that year, been an MVP candidate. He's a good player. I don't know what kind of a hitter he is. I mean, the first time I used to look at him and go, he's a good hitter. He knows how. He knows how to hit. He figures it out. Now I look at him and he's not driving the ball. He's not like he used to be able to drive the ball in gaps, hit home runs every now and then.
Yeah, he just doesn't do it anymore. Wait, refresh my memory now. I'm drawing a blank. There were two players when they signed Turner. Who was the other big name that they didn't sign, but it was either Turner or
Swanson was available that offseason. Correa was available that offseason.
No, another one. There were two guys.
I can't remember.
Huh?
I can't remember. I'm sure it wasn't Harper you're thinking of?
No, when they were. Oh yeah, maybe I am thinking of Harper.
I think you're Harper.
Thinking the Machado Harper.
I'm thinking of Machado. You're right. It was Harper, not Turner.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right, it's 1 o'clock. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. You're listening to the WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. All right, let's just have a little fun as we start the 1 o'clock hour, and we'll continue with our Phillies and Eagles NFL draft chat. But a lady listens to us, and she chimes in. People post these videos on a lot of stuff that we talk about. And one of the things we talked about was whether it was a violation to sneak candy into a movie theater. And you say, well, popcorn's okay. Well, can't you just sneak a bag of popcorn? Popcorn's expensive. Wouldn't it be wise to sneak in a bag of popcorn also?
Incorrect.
Why not?
Here's why it's incorrect. The movie theater popcorn is unique to the movie theater. There's a certain taste that comes along with it. There's a certain nostalgia that comes along with the movie theater popcorn. You're going to pay triple for a piece of candy that is the identical piece of candy that you would get at Five Below or the supermarket. So it doesn't make sense. You sneak in. I sneak in my water or my drink because it's the same thing. And I'll sneak in my candy or my protein bar because it's the same thing. I go Kind Bar usually. Kids will go.
Oh, really? That's I didn't know.
Sour Patch Kids.
You want to go Kind Bar?
But that's why it's different. You want the movie theater popcorn. You're not going to bring in Pop Smart.
Can't you get a Kind Bar deal here? As much as you talk about it, salespeople,
we should
hook you up with a Kind Bar deal?
Between Kind Bar and Trader Joe's. But Trader doesn't really advertise. That's how they're able to keep their prices so affordable.
It sells itself.
This Trader
It sells itself.
All right. Well, anyway.
Yeah, so this woman named Kate.
I got to be from listening to all this feedback on this. It seems like I'm the anomaly. Like I'll go in, I'll buy the popcorn. I'll sacrifice it. I'll buy the popcorn and the Raisinets every single time, and I don't care how much it costs. It's the cost of doing. And by the way, I've cut down my movie theater visits. But in any event. What's the woman's name?
So there's a woman named Kate who follows me on Instagram, but I thought maybe she was a friend of yours because you'll hear in this clip, she refers to you as Mikey.
Not a friend of mine, but go ahead, let's play it.
All right, this is a good one. I'm listening to Bill and Mikey, and I want to know what you guys think. Now, if you're going to the movies, are you paying for the candy or are you bringing your own in? Personally, I'm sneaking my own candy in. I'm going to the dollar store beforehand. I'm loading up. I'm wearing all the sweatpants and just bringing the candy in with me. Let's be real. I'm probably bringing a protein bar. But if I had candy as an option, I'm bringing my own candy. Popcorn is a different story. Popcorn, movie theater popcorn is unlike anything else. You just got to suck it up and pay the $20 or whatever it is that they charge you. But
this is the correct take.
If you're willing to pay the $12 for a little itty bitty thing of like Raisinets or Sour Patch Kids, which I love me a good Sour Patch Kid, but come on. That's ridiculous. I think you'd actually be insane to pay the price of candy at a movie theater.
Yeah, I don't think you're insane. Sounds like a girl after your own heart. Muscle girl, protein thing.
Yeah, I think she's a fitness woman. She does.
Of course, she would bond with you with that. Now,
but she's got the correct
take. How much is
take.
a box of Raisinets? $4
at the theater?
Yeah, how much is it? Not $12. How much is it? $5 at the most?
Hold on. I think you're
$12. She embellished the cost of it.
I don't think she did.
It's not $12.
Hold on.
Come on.
So I don't think they put the prices on here.
Candy, a box of candy in that case is not $12. So stop embellishing. $5-6 at most.
Hold on. How much is candy?
There he goes, Mr. Google. How much is candy?
I'm trying to think. All right. I don't know where this is.
Where's the chat? Did the chat give you the answer?
Yeah, give me the chat board. Ed Wright says it's $8.
$8 for a box of
JJ
Raisinets?
said $7.
All right, so you buy $10 popcorn, $7, $17 extra dollars. Relax.
Yeah, because I guess if you go to the supermarket, you could probably get the same candy for like $2.
Well,
right?
see, I happen to like the bagged popcorn. I like Hers bagged popcorn.
Oh, I know. I like the Lesser Evil, the one that has the Buddha on it.
I don't know what that is.
They cook it with coconut oil.
No, of course, it's in the natural section.
Oh, I'm not. The Himalayan pink salt.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that?
Yes, I've had.
Love it.
I've had that. Skinny Pop.
Coconut oil, good one, right? That's a good one.
Love it.
It's not Skinny Pop is a different brand.
Yeah, but it has the Himalayan.
But the Lesser Evil with the Buddha logo is the far superior.
How do you find the Buddha on? Where? Trader Joe's?
No, Trader actually doesn't carry that.
Oh, he does? Does Trader carry?
Trader carries their own
popcorn?
brand.
Yeah. You don't like that one?
No. So we go to Wegmans for that popcorn.
Oh, my God. You're such a fancy-ass grocery
I also
shopper.
like popcorner
Wegmans
chips.
and Trader Joe's. I got my friendly neighborhood giant. I'm totally satisfied.
Have you ever gone Popcorners? Those chips?
I don't even know what that is. Popcorn.
It's like a healthier-looking Dorito.
I got nothing. I want nothing to do with healthier Dorito. If I'm going to eat a Dorito, I'm going to eat a Dorito. What are you going to need? A healthy Dorito?
Your
is it with
sister.
you?
Somebody in the chat said, why does Mike have so many problems with people's sisters? Wait, you said you haven't been to the theater in a while. When was the last time you were at the movie theater?
I can't remember when the last time I've been to a movie theater.
I've brought my kids to see Wicked, but I can't tell you the last time I went to see an adult flick.
Since COVID, to be honest.
I may not have either, man. Maybe we should do that as a show, the three of us. Nice little movie date, Ray. What do you think?
Yeah, you set it up. You tell me if we're going.
Mike will buy the popcorn and candy because he doesn't mind the prices.
Good point.
I think the last time I was in a movie theater, I saw the movie Fences.
Oh, with Denzel?
Denzel Washington. So how long ago was that? That's the last. I don't think that's the last movie I've ever seen.
2016.
Wow. Can it be that long? Almost 10 years I haven't been in a movie theater? 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Now, an NFL draft prospect analysis.
I saw a very interesting story on The Athletic where they players rated certain other things and certain categories. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Here it is. Overrated, underrated, all that kind of stuff. So let's start with. I'm going to scroll way up here for this one. Who is the league's most overrated player? And it's very interesting because by a large margin, Tyrese Halliburton, with 90 votes cast, got 14.4% of the vote. Now, there's a lot of guys that got votes. Rudy Gobert, who people hate in this league, he got 10%. Trae Young got 8.9%. Jimmy Butler, 5.5%. And I think that all players are just sick of his crap, and that's why they voted him on.
Well, are you talking playoff Jimmy or regular season Jimmy? Regular season Jimmy overrated.
Yeah, I guess. But in general, would you say he's overrated? I would go Trae Young, definitely overrated. They don't win with him. Bradley Beal, totally overrated. Man, what a terrible contract he's got.
You think the Halliburton thing, too, is players a little jaded? He was on the Olympic team.
For some reason, he rubs people the wrong way. I don't know why.
Well, you remember that ridiculous picture he posted with the women in Vegas?
Yeah, maybe that did it.
That was
anyway, other players that got votes, Draymond Green, John Morant, interesting, overrated. Julius Randle, definitely overrated. Joel Embiid got named. Right there.
How many votes?
3.3% of the votes.
Which would be what? Do we know how many votes that would be?
3% of 90. What is that? You want to do some math?
3 votes.
Close to 3 votes, yeah.
Okay.
At 2.97.
All right. Well,
Rounding up.
That's not a lot. Then Antetokounmpo,
close. Right.
Dylan Brooks, Paul George.
LeBron's on here.
Tyler Hero, Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, huh? Jaren Jackson Jr.?
Drew Holiday was Bradley Beal's vote.
LeBron James, Kyle Kuzma, Domantas Sabonis, and Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson, I think, is a little overrated. He only plays when he wants to.
Oh, and then 2.2%. No one who reached the NBA is overrated. It's an interesting response.
Well, I kind of feel the same way. You're an NBA player, you're an NBA player. Now, when I say this guy stinks, I don't mean he stinks. I mean in the context of him being a difference maker for a team, he stinks.
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play.
There was a lot of bona fide scrubs that played, but that doesn't mean they couldn't play because they reached the NBA.
Now, Halliburton, Ray said he would take over Maxey.
He did.
I did.
You stand by that?
You think
No,
8 guys in the NBA are going to make me change my mind on that?
Not
There's
because
8 people in their cars right now. They're living with me about that. Yeah, I still stand by what I said.
Did you watch Game 1 against the Bucks?
Series are up 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, look, in Game 1, he shot 3 of 13 from the field, 0 for 7 from beyond the arc, 10 points. Did have 12 assists, though.
All right. You want to start rolling out the numbers of Maxey with no Embiid and no George? I like Tyrese Maxey just as much as anyone else in this city. I like Tyrese Halliburton's game.
I probably would agree with Ray.
You would take Halliburton?
Well, because he's bigger. Small guards in the league don't make that significant an impact. They don't make star impact. It's just not a league where small guys can flourish. He's a 6'2" guard in a 6'6", 6'7" guard league.
Yeah, what's Halliburton, like 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah. All right, which team other than your own will win the title this season? 137 votes cast. Surprising to me that 57.7% go with the Boston Celtics and only 17.5% go with the Oklahoma City Thunder and only 10% go for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers get no respect. Are you agreeing with that? Boston over Oklahoma City? This could be OKC's year, brother.
OKC looks dominant, man. That'll be a good series. I hope it's OKC Boston because I think that would be a great series. You think higher of Cleveland than I think most do.
I don't understand why people don't think highly of them.
They're a good regular season team, but in a 7-game series, I don't know if they're beating Boston.
Well, I think you shortchange them. I think they can beat Boston. All right, 5 years from now, who will be the face of the league? You vote, Bill. 138 votes cast, you vote. This is Bill's vote. Who will be the face of the league 5 years from now?
Well, I've read this article.
Oh, so you're going to agree with it?
But I agree. I mean, it's going to be Wembanyama.
Wembanyama, 54.3%. Anthony Edwards, 13.8%. And then there's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 10.9%. Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic getting way down there. Paolo Banchero is an interesting name. Cade Cunningham is also an interesting name. They're at the bottom of this.
And I'm assuming that this article, and I know it was, but it was done before Anthony Edwards decided to yell at the fans about how he had a bigger manhood than they did.
Yeah,
it's a little bit hard to be the face of the league if you're doing stuff like that, isn't it? You know what I'm talking about, Ray?
I know what you're talking about.
He might be something else of the league.
Why are you looking at me like that? Ray's like judging me for that comment.
Yeah, Bill didn't like that comment.
Yeah,
Bill thought that was very vulgar.
Famously, no one that's ever said anything that's gotten them in trouble has ever become the face of a league.
Hold on. But you think the face of the league could be a guy who is yelling to fans, my bleep is bigger than yours?
That got picked up.
I don't know, dude.
I kind of agree with you. I don't think he's ever going to be the face of the league. All right, one more before we go to a break. Who is the league's most underrated player? How about this one? If Halliburton's the most overrated, Cade Cunningham was voted as the most underrated player.
Hey, this series so far.
And here's my guy. I've said this guy has been underrated for the last 3 years. This guy never, ever hurts you in any form. Derek White from the Boston Celtics.
With or without hair? Or you like him better with?
I like him without the hair better. Yeah, he couldn't pull off the hair. But Derek White, for my money, absolutely underrated. We'll continue with that. 610-632-0975 back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
It's draft day. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Tonight in Green Bay is the first round of the NFL Draft. It all kicks off at 8 o'clock tonight. The Eagles have the 32nd pick in the draft, so we're in for a long night here in Philadelphia. One player that has been mocked to the birds consistently, Ole Miss defensive tackle Walter Nolan, but when ESPN's Adam Schefter joined Kincade Salciunas yesterday, he threw cold water on the idea of Nolan being available at 32.
Philadelphia got lucky on Jalen Carter. It's not going to get lucky on Walter Nolan like that, okay? I don't think he's falling to 32. I would expect that he's gone somewhere in the teens would be my guess.
I guess we can keep dreaming of the idea of Walter Nolan being available at 32. You'll find out tonight from 6 o'clock to midnight. Our own Andrew DeCecco, Bill Colorillo, and Tyrone Johnson will be at Randall's at the Legacy Club reacting to the first round of the NFL Draft. Of course, you can listen to them live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And this draft can take your mind off the Phillies, who were swept by the Mets this week following a 4-3 loss to New York in 10 innings. The offense only pushed one run across to the top of the 10. Jordan Mann blew another save en route to the loss. The Phillies are now 13-12 and have a day off before they start a 3-game set in Chicago against the Cubs this weekend. This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios Instant Push-to-Talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, on your home for the best birds 2025 draft coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Tyrone Johnson.
It was from someone that had more power than me because I never.
I think it was from our program director, Scott Mastow. We called him the young Ray Dunn, the young kid. And he put it in the promo.
And now he's 25.
And now he's older, wise vet.
Somehow look younger.
I would say, though, between the three of us, if we took age out, Ray's probably the oldest. I think Ray acts the oldest of all three.
As far as the mindset goes.
Yeah, like the maturity.
I think you're right.
It's probably Ray.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's a ringing endorsement for this show if I'm the show of maturity.
He's been trained to be. I don't understand why you're not more like Ray, though.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I told you before.
You're a pristine Jersey kid who went to Bishop Eustis.
I told you I was voted class clown and all that other stuff. I was on disciplinary probation. I wasn't in disciplinary probation not because I was a bad kid, just because I talked a lot, made jokes a lot.
In class?
Yeah.
Why didn't they throw your ass out of Eustis?
I had teachers tell me and my parents whenever I would get in trouble that the stuff I would do in class, they would want to laugh too if they weren't my teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, how come you don't make anybody laugh now?
Well, I get the courtesy chuckle. I get the courtesy chuckle.
Wow.
That was funny, Mike. I'll give you credit on that one.
Yeah, you got a courtesy chuckle out of Ray on that one.
I don't really know how to do the courtesy chuckle. That feels real.
Now you're busting my onions. All right, so back to this NBA player poll. The most underrated. Now, they named 27 players. How many Sixers?
Underrated?
Yes.
There's got to be 0.
0 is correct. Not even Tyrese Maxey is underrated. Have you noticed that Tyrese Maxey is kind of a flat line in the NBA right now, that nobody talks about him? Have you noticed this?
Well, I mean, there's a reason for it. The team's terrible.
Yeah, but he didn't shine when the team was terrible.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
He's a flat line of people right now. Nobody knows what he is.
You know what the crazy thing is? And I know you get mad when I bring him up. Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes actually shined more than Maxey did when the team was terrible. Like when Maxey was in, and I know the team stunk and there was nothing around them, but you didn't even see the level of shine from him that you saw from when Grimes was in there.
Yeah, I hear you.
Even though you hate Quentin, right?
I don't hate him. I just think he's, whatever. Somebody's got to score. He was here. He scored. Best organizations in the NBA.
Oh, man.
They named.
I didn't read this part.
They named 15. Where were the Sixers?
If they only have 15, there's no way the Sixers are in the top 15.
They were not in the top 15. But the next category is worst organizations.
Oh, man. Are they in there?
5th.
Oh.
And you know who they're behind? Look at the direct they're behind. Hornets, Wizards, Pelicans, Kings, and then Sixers. Can you?
This is bad.
Bad.
This is very,
Can
very
you
bad.
imagine the Sixers franchise is below those mutts? They're right in the category of those mutts right now.
And this is supposed to be a legendary franchise.
And this is the front office that survived. They're rated by everybody in the NBA, the players in the NBA. Behind only the Hornets, Wizards, Pelicans, and Kings. Sixers are next. No heads rolled.
You're all angry now.
I'm livid. Best coach. You think Nick Nurse, even though we were told he was one of the best coaches in the league, you think he made the cut?
I can't. I mean, not after this season. No.
Here's who made the first 5. Mark Dagno.
OKC?
Yeah. Kenny Atkinson, Cleveland Cavs, did a fantastic job. Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra is always in this, and he's terribly overrated.
You think he's overrated?
Totally overrated as a coach.
Oh, I don't know.
What has the Miami Heat done lately? What have they done?
They just went to the finals a couple years ago with, like, nobody. I mean, Jimmy Butler came out of nowhere.
But they're always in the bottom half.
Wait, what did the Heat do this year?
Joe Mazzulla next. And then here's another overrated coach. Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue hasn't won DICH. Oh, that got a chuckle? That got a little chuckle from you? Huh? DICH got a chuckle?
I realize, you know what it is? I think I may be a silent chuckler too, Ray.
I'm the silent laugher of this show. You got to find a new shtick.
You're both silent laughers. It pisses me off. Anyway, let's go to the phones. We got Tim in Jenkintown. Tim, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Tim.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, Timmy?
You know, I was thinking about the run of the '08 Phillies and how uncanny it is, the life cycle of that team and this team. If you take away the '08 run where they won the World Series, in '09 and '22 they both lost in the World Series. In '10 and '23 they both lost in the LCS. In '11 and '24 they both lost in the DS. And then we know what happened in '12. So I don't blame the organization for looking back and saying we don't want to be on a 8-year hiatus and try to, force moves and signings where, we're afraid that the window's going to be closing. Because I feel like Amaro kind of wouldn't accept that the door was closing. And so he signed guys that he shouldn't have, re-signed Utley and Rollins when they should have walked and gotten compensatory picks. So now, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is a wait-and-see year. I hope to God that, Miller and Crawford are legit prospects, and maybe next year they can play to where Crawford center field, Miller's shortstop, and then you got to move Turner to third base. If we still have Bohm, he has to go to first, and Harper is going to have to go to left if we still keep Bohm. And you look at Turner, I mean, in retrospect, he's a skinny dude. We should have expected him to break down, just not this quickly, of course.
Yeah.
He's going to have to bulk up and get stronger. I think that's his problem.
Can he play third base?
His range, I think his range is the issue, so I think at third base he would be all
I think
right.
his arm is the issue. I don't see him as he's a slinger from shortstop. He's not an over the top. You got to kind of be an over the top guy. Although Bohm makes some nice plays. But Bohm's really athletic down there. When he charges and flips, he puts it there all the time. I'm shocked at how spry he is down there. But Turner, I don't know about the throw from third. He looks like a middle infielder at best. And you might be able to play him in center field if that's what it comes down to. But you'd have to do that in spring training.
Yeah. Well, then, I mean, we're talking Crawford. I mean, he should be your eventual center fielder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're right
the
about
other
that.
thing
What do you do with Turner? Can you possibly trade Turner with that kind of a contract? You probably can't.
Can you move him to Can you move him to second if Stott's not the answer?
Where's Stott's going to go?
Well, what if Stott's not the answer?
Oh, well, I guess you could.
Yeah, so Stott has to play short, and Miller would have to play third.
Yeah, Stott's not
Turner at second.
Yeah, Stott's not a shortstop. You would have to almost explore a trade for Stott if you're going to move Turner to second.
Wait, why can't Stott play short?
He doesn't have that shortstop arm. That was tried early on. They realized he didn't have a shortstop arm. All right, now you're thinking outside the box, Tim. I like it. All right, Tim's gone. Yeah. No, but that's what I'm talking about, like refiguring things, mixing things up, giving it a fresh approach by changing positions and bringing in a young guy to play a certain position.
Yeah, I'm looking at Crawford's numbers over the last few games.
Mm-hmm. No good?
Pretty damn good, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was 2 for 4 yesterday, 2 for 5, 1 for 5, not great. 1 for 3, 4 for 5, 1 for 5.
It was 4 for 5, huh?
4 for 5. So he's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits in his last 5 games. But he doesn't have any power, this kid.
That's
more
all
of a
right.
slap hitter.
No, that's all right.
But he's also another left-hander.
I think he's got more power than Kenny Lofton, and Kenny Lofton was a pretty good center fielder for a lot of years. That's who he reminds me of.
But if Crawford eventually is ready, you bring him up to play center, which honestly right now is the least of your worries because Rojas is playing better even though you hate him. You still don't have the answer in left, and you still have the same issues in the pen.
Oh, I want to ask you a question about Rojas. Do you think he sustains a 300 batting average?
Of course not.
Okay, then what are we talking about?
All you could look at is the production that he's given you this season, and he's hitting 317 right now, and he's come up big in certain moments.
Do you actually think he's a good hitter? I want to get your overall opinion. Or are you just like going along with the flow right now? When you look at him, that guy's going to be a major league hitter. Do you see that?
Well, you just change it. Good hitter or major league hitter? Like, could he be your 9-hole hitter?
What's a major league hitter? A major league hitter is a good hitter.
Yeah, but there's some guys who you're expecting more from. Like, what I'm saying is...
What do you see him as? A 240 hitter?
I think he could probably hover around there. Probably 250, maybe.
You think that's good enough?
from
for
your
a starting
nine
player.
From your 9 hole, if he brings quote unquote elite fielding in center field, I'm not sure if he's that much of an elite fielder.
Don't forget elite runner.
He does have speed, Mike.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy has speed.
He does.
But again, then this was kind of the conversation at the start of last season. If your big bats are giving you what they're supposed to give you, we really shouldn't be that concerned about who's hitting 9th.
Well, you're right. You're right about that, but you still got to turn over the lineup every now and then.
Which he's done every now and then.
He does. I don't. I think this is really an aberration.
In his last 7, 348, the guy said.
I think it's an aberration. The longer he plays, the more the warts you're going to see. 610-632-0975. That's how you get into the show. If you want to climb in the last coming down the home stretch here on a Thursday, NFL Draft Day. Bill with his NFL analysis after this. .75 is back. So Ray Dunn tonight will be at the Green Parrot, Bill, in Newtown, Bucks County.
Uh-oh. Get there early, ladies. Gonna be a line.
It's a good spot, Ray. You'll enjoy it.
I can't
A lot
wait.
of people flock to the Green Parrot. What time are you doing this?
7 to 9.
So you'll catch the end of happy hour-ish.
Well, it's
Crowd.
always going to be a happy hour, and I got the Michelob's going. Michelob Ultra happening.
Well, is that what you're doing? You get the Michelob Ultras going?
Yeah.
So
Have a good time.
So hang around.
Mick Ultras.
Hang around after happy hour for Ray Dunn in the beautiful little town of Newtown. I used to live there. I lived there briefly in Newtown.
So we have Ray there tonight.
Newtown's a place where the people in the lower Bucks part of Bucks County go up and like it's vacation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At the lower end of Bucks County, people go, "Oh, you're from Bucks County? Wow, it's really nice." I go, "No. I'm from the lower end. When you get to the upper, is where the trees are." So Ray's there tonight.
Ray will be there tonight, and then it's official. You're going to be out tomorrow night.
It is official. I haven't gotten official.
Oh,
word
I
from
thought
it.
you told me it was official.
Well, I thought it was official, but I haven't had any reads or anything. So I don't know what.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
You would think I would have a read.
Yeah, there's a chance Mike will be out.
There's a chance I'll be
in Flowertown.
I'll be at a bar in Flowertown with Halligan's tomorrow,
giving away Truist champion tickets, maybe.
Giving golf tournament tickets. If that doesn't bring in a crowd, I don't know what. I mean, if you wanted to go to the golf tournament, I got them.
Word is we're gonna have mini golf set up.
Is that true?
Oh, really?
Wait,
at Halligan's?
Where Mike's going to be?
For all of our Truist championship
Really?
promotion events, yeah.
So yours is the Truist as well?
That's right. Giving away Truist championship tickets tonight.
How about that, man?
If you can make putts. Which,
Well, I can't make anything right now.
Can you make putts?
I'm the worst golfer in the world right now. I just can't figure it out.
Well, Bill, you
in
were
fact,
clear
I
to tell
turned
us your
down the
short
chance
game.
to play this weekend.
I got to figure it out. I haven't. I got to figure out my schedule, man.
My baseball opener is Sunday.
See, that's where you're going to have issues, man. You can't. A baseball swing is different than a golf swing.
You're right.
So you're going to have a hard time doing both.
Yeah, I know.
Although, wait, who's the best golfer on the Phillies? Remember we saw that last year when they were picking their fantasy football order? Didn't they say it was JT?
JT hit.
Makes sense.
JT hit the target, I think.
Yeah, I think they said he's the best golfer on the team. I want to get out with. I want to get out with Saquon, dude. Like,
you want to get out with Saquon? He probably muscles it down the fairway.
The fact that he said if he doesn't break 80 this year, like that's wild to me. That guy
is that good.
That he would be that good this
You
quickly.
think you get a couple pops off Saquon? You think he can handle him?
Well,
how many pops would you ask? If he wants to get out, he's shooting probably 83, 84, 85. How many pops would you ask him for?
You know what? I'm looking it up. I want to see if he keeps a gin. I want to see if he keeps one. Looks it up.
Yeah, he's looking for his handicap now.
So he would probably be. Is he in Jersey?
No, he's in PA.
He's a PA member?
Yeah. He's not a member anywhere. He's America's guest right now.
He keeps a handicap.
Does he?
At Squires.
What is it? Oh, he's at Squires?
That's what it says, yeah.
Oh.
Not too bad there, Saquon. I'm assuming there's only one
Saquon
Saquon Barkley.
joining Squires?
Well, I'm assuming this is him.
Oh.
I don't know. How many
Is there another
Saquon Barkleys
Barkley?
are there?
What's his number?
11.
All right, well, yeah.
He's an 11. The last time he golfed. See, the last
if
time
he's
he.
11 at your place, it'd probably be a 14. So what are you at your place?
I'd rather not say.
All right, well, he's going to.
I'm an 18 right now.
All right, well, he'll have to give you two aside.
You know what? I'm going to look it up right now.
Can you slay him with two aside?
I don't know. Depends on the day. Hold on, I'm looking here. I'm going to try to add.
You're going to add your course in there?
Yeah. So if me and Saquon went at it, he would get. Sorry, I'm doing this as I'm talking.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. We got time.
It's not like we're on the air or anything. All right. At my course, I would get 8 strokes on Saquon.
Wow.
So his 11 would make him a 14. My 18 makes me a 22 at Woodcrest.
Oh, your gin is 18.
Yeah.
Damn.
My course cap is 22 right now.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, dude, I'm terrible.
Worse than I am right now.
Here's what makes me a decent tournament golfer, though.
What's that? You get a lot of pops.
I'm terrible because I have the holes that go off the rails.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm capable of parring any hole
You're
or
also
birdieing any hole.
Providing your partner with a blow.
So in a better ball, if I have a good partner, like if I have a guy who's a scratch,
He reaps the benefits of your pops.
yeah. So then I can win some holes because if I par it and I'm getting a stroke on almost every hole.
Right.
So hey, me and Saquon 8 strokes, I could take him. Saquon, if you're out there, I'm challenging you.
Of course you can take him.
Me and
What's the matter with you?
Well, we'll sneak in. I'll be a caddy for you. We'll sneak in the exploding ball on his tee.
You know what we should do? Me and Mikey Miss versus Saquon and Nick Sirianni. Make that happen.
So what? The Colorado Sirianni family and the Penn State crew? That's what this is?
Well, yeah, I got my Saquon connections. You got your Sirianni connections.
People.
So
I'm getting killed in the chat,
really?
by the way, saying that I'm a 22 at my course. Someone said the disgust with which Mike looked at Bill after hearing 22.
Well, in any event. Let's go to the phones. We got Lee in, where's Lee from? He is from Marlton, New Jersey. Lee, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Mike. How you doing?
What's up, Lee? How you
feeling? On the radio.
Thank you, buddy.
Listen to you a long time, Bill. You're a great compliment to the master. It's enjoyable.
He's never complimented me once.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I know. I listen.
There you go.
Hey, on your the Phillies point, on your stop blaming the batting coach. I get to a very strong degree, but then why have any positional coaches at all? They got to take something, right? They got to be able to get to these guys and see something they're doing wrong. Light a fire. I don't know. Some kind of approach.
You're right. Well, what I'm saying is their impact can only go so far. You can take a guy into the lab, and you can get him off a tee, and you can get him off that machine they throw, and you can get him out of bad habits. Once he gets into the box, it's every man for himself. Like the batting coach can't give him a mindset of, okay, I got to hit a fly ball here. There's a man on third with 1 out or less. I have to get that run in. They're not thinking that. These modern day players don't process that. They're in there trying to survive, and they resort to what they do best and how they got to the big leagues. I wish it were different. I wish a hitting coach could really have an influence on a hitter. But you've seen it time and time again. This guy has a pretty good reputation, right? Well, what prevents him from tutoring these guys to the point where they become better situational hitters? You can't do anything about it.
A lot of OG guys, including my father-in-law, it blames Charlie Manuel for all the upcut for trying to hit the home run.
Well, that's not Charlie Manuel. That's
mentality.
That's baseball now. You have to have a launch angle that they have proven it scientifically. If you hit a ball with certain bat speed with a certain launch angle, it's going to go out of the park. And that's what the game is. They want to hit home runs these days.
Yeah, I understand, and that. I think the worst contract in the world is Trey Turner. He's about as soft as a 10-day-old banana.
Yeah, he does not look like a good off. It's really, I don't know where he looks like he dropped off.
He's not a Philly guy.
I don't know, but you don't have to be a Philly guy to be a good player. He's lost his zeal as an offensive player, and I hope he gets it back because he used to be a really quick hands, drive the baseball type of guy. He's not that anymore.
So what happened? He became a dad and everything.
I listen.
They all become dads
sometimes
now, they're soft.
Sometimes you hit a wall. He's not soft because the guy's been an MVP candidate many years. He's not soft. It's just that some guys hit a wall. Maybe they just get tired and their abilities decline. It happens. Maybe it's happening to him at a fairly young age.
Yeah, it's a shame because we want them so bad, all of them to do well, and it's just. We all sit there and watch and go to these games and spend the money, and it's a problem.
I get you. And thanks for the call, Lee. I appreciate it. The guy who Kevin Long has worked with the most is Marsh. They are constantly working with Marsh. And spring training, they had him in the lab, in the tee. Okay, the season starts. Now it's survival. So whatever they were working on did not take effect. Now, you can't tell me that Kevin Long wasn't working with him on certain things.
No, but then this brings me back to the discussion we had yesterday where Kevin Cooney, who was in our YouTube chat, was saying that Bryce Harper has too much pull, too much power.
Yeah, I think.
Is he the reason Kevin Long's here?
Is Kevin Long a good hire? Was he a good hire?
I don't know. Was he?
Oh, yeah, he was. He's got a great reputation as a hitting coach. A lot of people swear by him. It's like, I think Bryce Harper being here and they hiring Kevin Long at the time is not a mistake.
But here's where you lose me. In one sentence, you'll say the hitting coach doesn't matter. But then in the other, it's Kevin Long has a great reputation as a hitting coach. Well, if the hitting coach doesn't matter.
You're talking about hiring a guy. When you hire a guy based on a resume.
So you bring him in here, two-time World Series champ. I get it, right? He won a series he was the Yankees hitting coach. He was the Nationals hitting coach. But you just said he's been working with Marsh. Hasn't helped.
No, because the guy prevents it from helping. You can only lead a horse to the trough. The horse has to drink.
Ray, you know that saying, you can lead a horse to water?
I said to the trough. I didn't say water.
That's what
I
he's
changed
saying.
it up a little
Do you
bit.
see what he's saying here?
Mm-hmm.
No, but here's the thing. I am not blaming Kevin Long. I am not one of the people who have been calling for Kevin Long's job. But to tout him as a great hitting coach, but then at the same time say hitting coaches don't do anything, that doesn't jive. Either hitting coaches don't do anything or Kevin Long's a great hitting coach. It
Hitting
can't be both.
coaches in general are overrated because effectively the player, when he steps in the box, has to do it for himself. That's what I'm saying. You may have a good resume and a reputation of teaching technical knowledge as a hitter. That's how you get jobs. Ultimately, you step in the box, the guy can't hug you. He can't hug you and make you say, like the kids, when the father gets behind him and says, okay, son, swing. He can't do that, Bill.
Or another classic.
In the major leagues.
Another classic movie, Angels in the Outfield. Remember the Angel?
Oh, the Angel.
What
made
helped?
him swing.
Very good movie, Ray.
Oh, it's horrible.
Very good.
Danny
Very
Glover.
good.
Terrible movie.
Danny Glover.
Yeah, did you watch that as a kid,
God,
Ray?
Angels
You
in
definitely
the Outfield
watched.
is terrible.
You didn't watch Angels in the Outfield as a
Tony
kid?
Danza as a pitcher.
Matthew
think so.
McConaughey's in it. Wait, Ray, you didn't see that movie?
Tony Danza
I
as
don't
a
think so,
pitcher.
no.
Oh, I would have thought that would have been like your favorite movie as a kid. Yeah, Tony Danza, Matthew McConaughey, Danny Glover,
my God.
Christopher Lloyd is like the head of the Angels.
I watched real baseball.
Oh, I can't
my
believe you never saw
God.
that movie,
You gotta
Ray.
be kidding me with that movie.
What about Rookie of the Year?
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I watched that when I was younger. I think I
Rookie of
watched
the
that.
Year.
That was
Is that the Minnesota Twins? The guy?
No, that's Little Big League.
Oh, that's Little
where he
Big-
becomes the owner. Excellent movie, Mike.
Oh, God. I haven't seen any of these
Rookie of the
stupid
Year
movies.
is when the kid slips on the baseball, falls, breaks his arm, and then when he casts it, something happens that makes him throw really fast. So the Cubs sign him as a pitcher.
Oh yes, no, that was not the movie I watched.
I
because of
don't
your-
watch any
but I did
movies
watch
that have silliness in it. I only watch drama.
Oh, okay.
Sports that have drama in
The
it.
Natural.
The Natural has drama. Major League has drama.
But you're not a fan of Field of Dreams. You thought that was an overrated movie, right?
I think Philly Field of Dreams is ridiculous, to be honest with you. It's only, you know what Field of Dreams is for? It's only for people who had bad relationships with their father.
And they like that movie because
Yeah.
he gets to have a catch with his dad.
Yeah, exactly.
But Ray, I'm shocked that you aren't an Angels in the Outfield fan. I thought that would have been like your favorite movie as a kid.
No, he already said 3 times he hasn't watched it.
I know. I'm shocked.
You said you're shocked 4 times.
I'm blown away.
I'm curious. At what point do you give up on the old Ray hasn't watched this movie thing?
What was your favorite movie as a kid? Favorite sports movie as a kid?
Ooh, favorite sports movie as a kid. I liked Hoosiers. Bull Durham was a favorite, but I think that was as I got older.
Yeah, you were too young.
Yeah.
to watch that.
Hoosiers,
Bull Durham.
you can't not like Hoosiers.
Yeah.
Although Tyrone doesn't like it because he can't believe that South Bend Central would lose to Jimmy Chitwoods and those little white kids.
Well, as I've
He
gotten
does
older,
make a good point.
I'm
Yeah, he
livid
does.
about the defense at the end of the game. We went through this before.
Yeah.
How do you give him that space? He hasn't missed anything.
I don't know. He was back. He was way back there. I don't know if you want to guard that deep.
He's not
And then
getting past you.
I know, but he had to take a couple steps up before he launched that jump shot.
He's taking the shot. You know he's taking the shot. Everyone in the gym knows he's taking the
I
shot.
don't know. That's not the way Hackman designed it.
And that's a big, big problem by Hackman in that moment.
I'll make it.
Overrated coaches? 610-632.
Overrated.
All right. Bull Durham, exceptional movie. The Natural, on point. Major League, it's silly, but it's fun to watch. And Moneyball, I got 4 baseball movies in my top
Moneyball's great.
5. And then I got Miracle I'll throw in there. My top 5.
Oh, yeah, you liked Miracle.
4
Oh,
baseball
Miracle.
movies. Well, Hoosiers got to be in there, too, for me.
Angels in the Outfield should be a close second.
That's so terrible.
Honorable
Did you
mention.
actually
I'm
like that
embarrassed.
movie?
As a kid, I loved it.
Did you really?
As a kid, I loved that movie. Well, do you remember?
It's so awful.
Do you remember they did kind of a sequel to that also included Tony Danza when he was the garbage man kicking, field goal kicking?
Jeffrey Lurie's movie.
Yeah, that was kind of like Angels in the Outfield in a certain respect.
Yeah, it was.
It was very similar.
Tony
movie.
Danza had those roles, huh?
Yes.
I
Tony
guess it's
Danza.
better than being a maid.
Oh, and who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
Yeah.
Alyssa Milano, though.
Yeah, Alyssa Milano. She was young in that, though. She was a kid.
Yeah, she was. And she came out with a line of baseball clothes. Remember that? Does she still have that, right?
Alyssa Milano's baseball clothing line? I could go do some research.
Alyssa Milano had a baseball clothing line
Oh,
for females.
I just looked it up. Yeah.
What? If you have it still?
No, I looked up the name of the Tony Danza movie.
Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza?
The garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon. That's what it was called.
Jeffrey Lurie backed. You know what all his movies
Classic.
were? It was a classic. We'll talk about his movies next week. Thanks for listening, everybody. We had a lot of fun. Stay tuned. Have a great rest of the night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
At the Legacy Club, react in the first round of the NFL Draft right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The draft tonight could take